books, music, clothing, and more. The Solid Rock, 452-4844.
Colorworks Paint and Body in Barling offers professional automotive painting, bodywork, and fabrication that is unsurpassed in talent and dedication. Owner Andy Harrod uses the latest in collision repair technology to ensure all damage is addressed, whether it's visible or hidden, and works with all insurance companies. Andy and his crew have the experience and commitment to give you complete trust in the repair of your vehicle, no matter the size of the job. Colorworks is located at 1206 4th Street in Barling, across from Dollar General, and is on Facebook, where you can check out their work.
Hi, this is Melissa with True Grit Running Company. Is someone special to you missing out on life because of foot pain? Let's face it, if your feet hurt, you don't want to go anywhere. Give the gift of freedom. Check out our store for all kinds of options to benefit your special someone. We have perfect gifts for those suffering from a variety of foot issues, such as plantar fasciitis, bunions, tendonitis, diabetes care, neuropathy, or just tired and achy feet. Visit us today at True Grit Running Company, 6808 Rogers Avenue, Suite B, behind Chick-fil-A.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
Tonight, a mainly clear sky. We drop down into the upper 60s to lower 70s. Plenty of sunshine. Highs in the mid 80s north, low 90s south. And then we could encounter an isolated shower across the north on Saturday. Otherwise, cooler upper 70s north, mid 80s south. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by In Good Spirits, Fort Smith's premier source for fine wines, specialty beers, and liquor.
Near you. KERX Paris Fort Smith. The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 20 days. Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center Studios. Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect it. Smith, I'm all right. Why can't they dominate? And we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Yeah. Matt Jones, man, take it to the house. The dunk.
You both said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Olson and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. What's my heart, dog? Let's go, man.
I have zero respect for saying no moss at halftime.
For one Razorback. It's vintage Matt Jones. 1, 2, 3. Here we go. Right now, let's take the field.
Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olson and Matt Jones.
Good morning and welcome into halftime. As things cool down, maybe a little earlier in the calendar than we might expect. It's great to be with you on a Friday morning for halftime. I'm Phil Elson, Matt Jones, Christian Johnston producing at the ESPN Arkansas headquarters today. Got you for 3 hours, right? Well, weekend's already started as far as we are concerned. And going to be a good Friday with Dudley Dawson coming up in about an hour and 15 minutes. Neil Atkinson from Bet Sarazen at 1:15 as the Olympics go into the final weekend. And we had the first Arkansas Razorback football scrimmage yesterday with 15 players missing because of, I think, what are described mostly as minor injuries. But Matt Jones, we got to start with Olympic basketball. What a comeback. One for the ages yesterday. It looks like Australia may need a comeback for the ages against the U.S. women in the semifinals that are nearing the end of the first half. Entertaining basketball yesterday, and I guess all you really needed to watch was the fourth quarter.
Yeah, the basketball Roos of Australia, I don't know that they got a chance today, but, man, that was exhilarating. It was so fun to watch, and it was just – It's tough when you're the best team to grind the whole time. I mean, they're out there playing, they're doing their thing. Then they start playing defense in the fourth quarter. They start picking guys up. They start getting pressure, start forcing turnovers. You start not letting them be comfortable to get into their offense. It was just like that's the thing with America, the USA, they can flip a switch anytime they want to, and they almost waited too late, but that's, if the USA's within 10 points going into the fourth quarter, they'll be fine. But they flipped the switch, and it started with the defensive end, started getting easy baskets. Then that shot Kevin Durant took, I mean, I know you got 5 finishers on the floor anytime with this USA team. The number one's Kevin Durant. You give the ball to Kevin Durant and say, get out of the way. That dude's mid-game it's probably Steph Curry, they say the best three-point shooter ever. Mid-range ever, Kevin Durant's the best mid-range shooter I've ever seen in the NBA basketball game.
Well, and as far as moves in the lane and the ability to get inside to the rim, Joel Embiid was able to do that yesterday quite a bit, wasn't he?
He showed why he's a league MVP. Him and the Joker were going at it, and Serbia they were unconscious from 3 early. I think first, second, and third quarter, they had 5 threes a quarter, shooting about 50% in those quarters. And then, USA buckled down, started playing defense, started getting transition points, started making it tough for him, went on a run. They'll do the same thing in the gold medal game.
Where you think of like sitting back in the weeds, and
they were like Andrew Benintendi before the trade deadline. He really didn't want to go anywhere else. He's like, you know what, I'm going to stay here, then I'm going to blow up.
Yeah. Well, it was really amazing to watch. For one thing, for 3 quarters, Serbia couldn't miss. They get wide open looks, and I mean, hey. I was reading it described as almost like watching the Denver Nuggets as their game gets elevated by Joker, who might still be the best player in the world, setting all these great screens and just basically drawing all the attention. But when the thing that stood out to me in that fourth quarter was watching, I mean, it's really kind of players you don't think about when it comes to defense. You had your 4 MVPs out there, but they all are thought of as offensive first players. I know LeBron can D up. I know KD can D up sometimes too, but you saw that intensity just really pick up around the 3-point line. And heck, I mean, you got KD forcing an over and back call at midcourt. You get Stephon Curry making a steal past the 3-point line and turning those into very quick baskets. It almost felt like they just decided, all right, well, now it's time to play a little bit of defense. And yes, we're going to show you that this is the old guys team, at least this year in 2024. I don't know how many of them will be around in 4 years from now, when the younger guys have to take over. And really, I mean, you're just kind of looking at Devin Booker and Drew Holiday as the young guys that got, somewhat of appreciable minutes out there. Anthony Edwards wasn't able to connect. Anthony Davis out there for just a little bit. Bam Adebayo sometimes looked like, like he's not used to playing just that amount of minutes. And Jason Tatum never came off the bench.
That's twice against Serbia. Yeah.
So, and just watching these guys' effort as they kind of just decided, all right, now's the time. And I mean, France and Germany, they went back and forth for a while. That was a game that was on while we were on the air, too. France really fighting and battling to the very end. And I tell you what, one of the things to be looking forward to in the championship game tomorrow is the back and forth between Embiid and the French fans. I mean, Embiid even said, I'll give it back to him. He said, what did he say? He said, they'll give it to me. I'll shout out to them and tell them to suck it, and we're all going to have a really good time.
Well, Embiid is better than any Frenchman in the league right now. It doesn't mean that Wembanyama can't eventually be better than Embiid, but if Embiid was on the France team, Phil, he would be their best player on the team. No. The thing I loved about watching the game was Tony Parker and Dirk Nowitzki sitting right there beside each other, watching the game, just hanging out. I mean, just 2 absolute legends. Tony Parker's probably considered France's best ever player, and Dirk's is Germany's. So I thought that was pretty cool sitting there.
And Dirk also too. Do you think he might have influenced a call from over on the side of it? I forget exactly who it was, but you could see. I think it was Curry was just getting manhandled over there in the wing, and the defender's got his hands all over me here. Noah Eagle shout out. It was probably fouled by now. D Wade says the same thing, but I don't know if the whistle came until Dirk shouted about it too. So. It's just kind of funny at that moment.
When Dirk's such a reserved, quiet, introvert, so when he's up there yelling, it's like, come on, he's the last one to be yelling.
If you're gonna give Tony Parker the French accent, you might want to do the same thing with Victor I don't know how to say it.
Victor Wembanyama.
Yeah, I feel like I might go into more of like a German imitation than a French imitation, which just goes to show you I haven't done much of either of those. But I did like your Tony Parker. That was
He's
well done.
Wembanyama's either Gumby or a pterodactyl. I don't know what he is, but he's not human. He's definitely an alien because that dude, he's the closest thing I've seen to Kevin Durant since Kevin Durant. Now, I don't think he'll ever be as skilled as Kevin Durant with the ball handling, but he's close, man. The dude can dribble. You don't have to worry about getting his shot blocked. He's a step slower than Durant, but he's a step bigger than Durant. So you kind of start looking at his game. He's an outside big, but he's sky's the limit. You wonder too how tall and skinny he is. You see players kind of have injuries when you get banged on. But the game has changed. They don't bang as much. But if Wembanyama plays for the next decade, man, there's no reason I don't think he doesn't win 2 or 3 league MVPs.
Do you watch yesterday's game at all and think to yourself, this is the old guys that are running this, and that in 4 years, there has to be a new guard that takes over. Like I don't know what's going on in LeBron's mind about the near future of his career. Like I know he'll be out there next year for the Lakers and probably a year after that. He's 39 years old. Does he have another Olympics in him in 4 years? And at that point, is he able to affect a game internationally the way that he even did yesterday? And it's the same thing with Steph Curry. And it's the same thing with Joel Embiid. I mean, who knows whether or not his knee is going to be healthy in 4 years? The team will have to have a makeover, I think, by the time the Los Angeles Olympics roll around.
The thing about LeBron is, he's always, his vision and his passing has always been his highest quality of his skill set. Then he's just bigger and more athletic. But and I said this last year during the Celtics championship run when they had their guy coming in there playing the power forward. I said, think if LeBron just wanted the next 3 years just to be the 4 and 5, not be a 1, 2, or 3, be a spot player that plays the 4 or 5. He could play another 3 years. He's Karl Malone. You play defense. That's where he spends his energy, and then you just go have him setting screens and kind of standing over to the side. He could do that because when he was younger, he would guard Rajon Rondo or Tony Parker. Now he guards the bigs. You see
he was guarding Jokic last night.
That's what I'm saying. You see the progression of his game. When he was younger and quicker and all that, he could guard the guards. Now he's so strong. He understands the game, his core, his balance. You look at his legs. He's big enough. He's a little undersized at the 4, but he's big enough and smart enough that that's what he does. That's where he's going to be for his next 2 or 3 years while he's playing in the NBA.
Those extra gray hairs, right? The gray hairs mean something, not just that you're getting older, but maybe you're getting a little bit smarter in terms of basketball as well and the ability to do those things. Some of the old men moves.
King.
Captain America, as I see it called.
Captain America. They say Christian Pulisic is Captain America, but you can it's King James. But yeah, if for the basketball fans, we can say Captain America, but Pulisic's Captain America.
Here's halftime for this Friday. Once again, Neil Atkinson from Bet Saracen coming up at 1:15, checking in on the specials Bet Saracen will have for the first full weekend of NFL preseason. And we'll talk with Dudley Dawson in about an hour. Dudley over at Arkansas football practice this afternoon. Got right back to it after yesterday's scrimmage. Going to be hearing from, let's see, who are we hearing from today? From the running backs and running back coach as well. So those are certainly some very important positions to look at here because our reading from yesterday's scrimmage report that Jaquindon Jackson and Rashad Dubinion were not a part of the scrimmage, dealing with various injuries that keep being described as nothing major, that if they were able to play, that if it was a game that they would have been able to get out there and play. So I think the most important thing to look forward to now is whether or not some of these guys will be able to get back out for the second scrimmage, which is next Thursday, and that's the last time that they'll be scrimmaging before the UAPB game. Plus your calls and texts as we go throughout the show today, and that includes a wide open first hour on halftime, 877-377-6963. Back in just a moment.
This is halftime.
One team.
Everybody got each other back.
One state.
Embracing the hog for sure.
One Razorback.
Off play action, looking deep into the end zone. Satavia, complete touchdown, Arkansas. This is coming. The Razorbacks dump him
back at the 37-yard line. Landon Jackson.
2024 Arkansas football season kicks off in Little Rock Thursday, August 29th against UAPB.
What's your football team?
Calling the Hawks.
Listen to every Razorback football game this season right here on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
Pay attention. This happens fast. Routine.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned. Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
It's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, Sakale.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is your number one source for all your sports betting needs this season. From baseball, golf, soccer, right to all the top fights in UFC, MMA, and boxing. Every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. When the game's over, head over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker or unwind with one of our over 150 slots games. Head to the website today to get in on the action. Use promo code BELIEVE for your 50% free bet credit on your first deposit up to $250. Bet online. The game starts here.
This song hit number 2 without one guitar. Gary Wright traveled with George Harrison to India for spiritual enlightenment and wrote Dream Weaver, describing God as infinite love and compassion, seeing him through the trials of the night. Of the 330 million gods of Hinduism, not one will get you to the morning light, but only through the blood of Jesus Christ. Satan is a master deceiver, weaving many into make-believers. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Hey, ESPN 96.3 and hitthatline.com. Have you been to Swark Liquor? Trey Gentry and his team have a phenomenal spot. It's the first liquor stop in Arkansas for our Dallas and Texas fans traveling up to the hill. So if you're heading to Fayetteville, the lake, a cabin weekend, hunting, fishing, or any other activity you need your favorite drink, stop by Swark Liquor. And check out their apparel too. You'll want to wear it. Swark Liquor, 864 East Collin Ray Drive in Queen, Arkansas. Swark Liquor, we promise to keep them cold for you.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned. Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
It's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, Sakale.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is your number one source for all your sports betting needs this season. From baseball, golf, soccer, right to all the top fights in UFC, MMA, and boxing. Every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. When the game's over, head over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker or
Find Halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Join the conversation. Call or text 877-377-6963. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Back on halftime, you got a text in from Andy in Mountain Home, and this was something I know I brought up yesterday. I'm just nervous at the number of players that missed yesterday's scrimmage, because I feel like the scrimmage is a really important portion of practice leading up to the first game of the year, and you only have 2 of these before you play UAPB, and it's not like you're tackling to the ground in most practices, even when it's full pads. So these scrimmages just seem to be so important before you get on the field. So the number 15 and the exact players who make up most of those 15 is what gets me a little bit nervous about the start of the football season for Arkansas, because I think this year's ones are better than last year's ones, mostly, when you look at them all added together. Probably the same about the 2s, but not all of the 2s. Once you get into the 3s and into the 4s, now you're talking about a completely different thing than teams that are competing probably in what is viewed as the upper half in the SEC. So when Andrew Armstrong and Tyrone Broden and Jaquindon Jackson and Rashad Dubinion and Patrick Kudus are missing these scrimmages, that does make me just a bit worried. And really, I hope that they're able to get on the field very soon. But I don't think you want to miss both scrimmages leading up. It's not like the Jets with Aaron Rodgers. They were extremely cautious with him yesterday. Did you see this, Matt? It was a driving storm at Jets camp, and because of that, Robert Saleh made the choice to hold Rodgers out from yesterday's practice. They're not going to play him in a preseason game until maybe the last one. They don't even know if they'll play him in the last game against the Giants, but we're talking about a first ballot Hall of Fame quarterback right here, admittedly coming back from an injury that I don't know if you come back the same at this age, but it's a heck of a lot different talking about these Razorbacks who are missing a scrimmage that feels really important. It's not like the end-all, be-all, but hey, this month, I think it is pretty darn important. It's different talking about those guys and somebody like an Aaron Rodgers.
I did see a little bit of that. The thing with, Aaron's seen it all before. You gotta trust your head coach, and I guess the thing you have to do is you got to get Aaron healthy to week 1. He didn't look very sharp last year. I know he only played four plays last year, Phil, but he looked like he held the ball a little bit too long. He looked like he was didn't know, like he just didn't look himself. And then the reason he got that sack and like that was because he didn't get rid of the ball. He went 1-2 and then kind of, and so the thing with him is he's kind of getting slow. You got to make sure he plays fast. But I think Aaron Rodgers, as long as his arm's in shape, he doesn't have to practice much. I mean, he's 20 years in the league. He's there. It's just, I think the competitor in him and that he probably doesn't like being told what to do.
Yeah, that's why it feels like there's a little bit of friction there with him and maybe the front office, or maybe just the coach Saleh, who's making these decisions to not practice him yesterday or not play him in the preseason. But I also wonder, all right, whose choice was it to not show up at minicamp? So I do think that this friction does work both ways. So yes, Aaron Rodgers has seen it all. But none of these Razorbacks who are missing yesterday's scrimmage have seen it all. Now, I appreciate the idea of not feeling you got to push them for the first scrimmage. If Sam Pittman says yesterday that if it was a game, then most of these guys would have been able to get on the field and play and not be too badly affected by it, I'll believe him. But if it's next week and it's the last scrimmage, I would think you need most of these 15 players. And, of course, it's depending upon the severity of the injury. You need most of them to be there. It would seem to me, like if you have a brand new offense and a new quarterback who, even if he's got great, off-season relationships with these receivers. Right now, Taylon Green is throwing much more to Isaiah Sategna than he is Andrew Armstrong or Tyrone Broden or anybody else, when it comes right down to it. Reading about the reports from Sategna yesterday, he was the best receiver and maybe one of the best players on the field for the scrimmage. And that might be the case when he gets the chance against anybody this next year. But we also do know Armstrong is probably the best receiver on this team, should lead them in most of the receiving categories. And Broden is supposed to be a breakout guy. And they're working with a new offense and a new coordinator and a new quarterback. And all the work that they did in spring, that spring. Right now it's August. It's 20 days away from the season. And I think that they need to get their timing down in full speed when somebody's expecting to get tackled. So they haven't seen it all. I hope they start seeing it on Thursday next week when they get back on the field.
Yeah, it does seem like a large number, but, safety first. I'm with you. I mean, you got to get some full-speed reps in. You got to get when it's 11 on 11. You want to see how the quarterback goes against the blitz. You want to see how the quarterback sits back and reads. Can you beat zone as well? If they only rush 3, can he sit in the pocket and figure it out? So there's a lot of things you want to see, and it's a new offense. But I think Armstrong, I don't know how it's going to be, if it'd be by committee, but I do think Armstrong is the most talented receiver on this team. But yeah, Sategna, he could be the most talented guy by the end of the year. Broden maybe too. We'll see how it goes. But you got to build that rapport. You want to build that relationship. I remember when Marcus Monk came there. It was my senior year, and he was a true freshman, and he came out there. You love throwing to him, and it took 2 weeks, and Monk was so talented that then you kind of had it. You kind of had it down.
Was there anybody that sounds like, just like two people meeting and immediately there's chemistry amongst them. You've had those relationships with people that just like there's an immediate mesh. Has there ever been in your career an experience where it felt like an immediate match? Like the moment you guys got on the field together, whatever position you were playing, Matt, whether it was someone throwing to you at wide receiver or vice versa, was there ever a time where it was an instant mesh, or do you need those week to 2 weeks like you brought up?
Yeah, you need a little bit. You want to see somebody make a play. I think back to when Peyton Hillis and Marcus Monk were both on that same class of freshmen. I mean, just two unbelievable freshmen. And it was summer workouts, and me and Peyton were just going over 4 power and 26 zone, just doing some baby basic stuff. I mean, that's football 101. And you could tell right away that, this guy's going to be good. And Monk the same way. Monk was a freshman. You had to double cover Monk already. He was so good.
So with Armstrong and Broden out, Sategna steps up. He had a huge scrimmage. Jaden Wilson getting a lot of reps. C.J. Brown getting a lot of reps, just reading the Democrat Gazette. And here's something that you were hitting on last year and something Ronnie Fouch, the wide receivers coach, brought up yesterday, or I think it was the day before. Isaac Tesla has been moved to the slot, which, I mean, you were beating that drum, I think, from the first day that you saw Tesla play last year. I think we'll have Sategna lining up in the slot too, and that's an interesting, mix there. Two totally different bodies, two completely different sets of skill sets is what I'm hitting on. One guy that will get past the defense, another guy that might have a little trouble doing it, but has really good hands. So I wonder what you think about Tesla in the slot, and also with Sategna lining up in the slot too.
Absolutely. Long time coming. I think that's perfect. You can't ask players to do things they're not good at or that they can't do. And so Tesla will be playing in his right spot, and it goes back to making a receiver room like a basketball team. That they are different players, so they're going to have different skill sets. One of them, big time crosser. Big time being able to take the top off the coverage. And the thing you like about being inside, Phil, is it's not Armstrong, whoever your A receiver is, you're going up against the A D-back. When you move inside, a lot of times it's zone. A lot of times you might get a free release. A lot of times it's a linebacker who doesn't want to cover. Maybe it's a safety that comes down. Maybe it's a nickelback that has run responsibilities too. So what it does, and you have a two-way route. You can go outside and inside. When you're on outside the numbers, really there's just one way you're really going. You're going deep, you're coming straight back, or you're cutting in. You're not really breaking an outside route when you're outside the numbers.
And it's also a little more of like an even matchup because you're going just against a cornerback there.
Yeah, absolutely. And the way the red zone with Tesla there, anywhere with Centennial with speed, I love it. I like both those guys. I like both those guys in the slot. And then what it does is you're able to, if you put Tesla in an 11 personnel, it almost can be like a 12 because he is a bigger receiver, but it's almost you can motion him to either side and stop the edge if you want to run the ball, and they match up based up to 11 personnel, and it's kind of like 12, so you're able to be physical. So there's some things you can do with that I like.
I do like the idea of his size and the ability to help block in the run game as a slot receiver as well. 877-377-6963 anytime you want to get with us. Stay with Halftime. We'll be back in just a few moments.
Oh, come on, guys. It's so simple. Maybe you need a refresher course. It's all ball bearings nowadays.
This is Halftime. You can now download our new app in the iTunes or Google Play Store. Listen anytime and anywhere on your favorite mobile device. Just search Hit That Line now.
At Skechers, we put the S in comfort.
Wait. Skechers put the S in comfort?
Yes, comfort you have to feel to believe. Skechers, we put the S in comfort.
You sure? Because I won a spelling bee in the 5th grade, and I don't think there's an S in comfort.
Yes, Skechers, we put the S in comfort. Like our hands-free Skechers slip-ins. Footwear that's completely touchless. You just step in and go. There's no bending down and no tying your shoes. And they have Skechers Air Cool Memory Foam for incredible comfort. Because at Skechers, we put the S in comfort.
Okay, well, I've got some Skechers slip-ins. Here, let me try. Okay, I'm just stepping in and... Oh, wow. Skechers put the S in comfort.
Duh, we told you.
See for yourself how Skechers put the S in comfort. Find Skechers slip-ins at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
You're listening to Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
Before you buy that next car or truck, stop by Broadway Motors in Van Buren. The best of the best for 2 straight years. Michael and his team offer the best prices on the best quality pre-owned vehicles in the River Valley. They invite you to stop by and check it out for yourself. Or if you prefer to check out their inventory online or even do your financing online. Michael has built his reputation as a husband, father, and owner-operator since 2006. Broadway Motors, 806 Broadway in Van Buren, or online at BroadwayMotorsAR.com.
Football, fantasy drafts, new school supplies. It's my favorite time of year. I'm Jackie Mock with Mock Legal Solutions. Born and raised in the River Valley, I know how crazy traffic can get this time of year. As kids head back to class, remember to use caution at crosswalks and in school zones. But not all accidents can be avoided. If you or your loved one is injured in a car wreck, call today. 479-769-1505. No win, no fee. Mock Legal Solutions. Real advice, reasonable price.
Whether it's torque, horsepower, or just extreme work, diesel trucks do their job. But when your diesel truck needs maintenance or repair, it's time to head to Extreme Diesel. Everything from standard maintenance to extreme repairs, including injector testing. Extreme Diesel delivers. They have the tools and service for your Cummins, Duramax, or Power Stroke. You trust your truck to deliver on your needs, and you can trust your truck at Extreme Diesel. 6630 Alma Highway between Van Buren and Alma. Check them out on Facebook or give them a call at 651-3363. They're bilingual, now offering CP4 solutions for both Chevy and Ford.
The tires on your vehicle go round and round, but when they don't, go to Van Alma Tire. They have tires in their name. That's their specialty. Van Alma Tire is all about tires. They have all the name brands and private labels available for you and in stock. So when it comes to getting tires for your ride, it's worth the drive. And financing is available. Ask for details. Whatever your tire need, check out Van Alma Tires on Highway 64 between Van Buren and Alma. Ready to get you rolling on new tires at Van Alma Tire.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
The best things in life never change. They just get better, like Hardee's Original Bag, just $6.99. Loaded with fries, a drink, and 2 full-size favorites. A juicy charbroiled double cheeseburger, melty hot ham and cheese sandwich, or crispy hand-breaded chicken tender wrap. Choose any 2 plus fries and a drink, all only $6.99. Hardee's Original Bag, loaded with handcrafted goodness. It's the greatest meal deal for your buck. Available for a limited time at participating restaurants.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
He left no time to regret. Kept his way with his same old safe bet. Me, get on without you. Went back to what you know so far that we went through. And I took a troubled track. My heart's go back to black.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
35 gold medals on the line today. It's a big Friday over there in Paris. Spain looks like Spain's on their way to the under-23 soccer, 3-1 over France. Looks like they are got about a little more than 10 minutes left in the first half. It's going to be quite a couple of months for Spain for soccer, Matt. Euro champions, potential Olympic champions, and best soccer playing country in the world right now, right?
Man, it's tough. It's tough to go against the Spaniards. I will say that France in this last World Cup, they were without their best player. So I mean, Paul Pogba is their midfielder, who is Mbappe is their forward, their Tyreek Hill. But you got to have Tua. You got to have somebody to throw him the ball. And France was without their best player. So yeah, Spain's up there. It's tough to go against Spain, France, England, Germany, and Italy. That would be kind of your Power Five, and then you go South African countries with Argentina and Brazil, but their domestic leagues aren't the same.
American women are on their way to how many? I don't remember the number of wins in a row that the American women's basketball team has at the Olympics. I think it's in the high 50s. They're up by 23 points late in the third quarter. So anticlimactic semifinals. And as dominant as the men's program has been in these last, 3-4 Olympics, women's basketball has been dominant for going on over 30 years now. I did put on the women's breaking competition. Don't call it breakdancing, just like you don't call table tennis ping pong when it comes to the Olympics. Or as Matt texted me earlier today, as I've made this mistake on the show, maybe once or twice, it is not throwing a line, it is casting a line. That's exactly right. And it is, I'll be honest, it's a little bit of a difficult watch to take it seriously in terms of the Olympics. Like, I'm not trying to say anything about their lack of athletic ability or anything, because some of the moves that these women put on display are really, really impressive. But I remember watching a lot of this. I was a child of the 80s. I remember when breakdancing really kind of broke out from New York City and kind of swept across the nation. I mean, there I was at my bus stop, Matt, aged 8 or 9 years old, and my friends brought the big old, ghetto blaster, and it had the 4 different huge speakers on it. It had the dual tape deck. We didn't have CDs just yet. And yeah, we were playing Grandmaster Flash, Beastie Boys, Run DMC, right there by the big tree before the bus showed up. And yes, we had the big, the thing they don't have at the Olympics for breaking is they don't have the big flattened cardboard box It was really the only way that you could go spinning around because it doesn't work on a sidewalk without the cardboard.
Man, that'd be cool if Grandmaster Flash and Run DMC, Chuck D, they all showed up and were in the stands watching breaking. So
what if they actually like perform for, like they've got a DJ spinning music. It's, you know, it really does kind of sound like the 80s minus lyrics. You might as well get the real ones there. Snoop Dogg's watching, and I would assume he probably had that one circled on his calendar for the very start, was to be there for the first ever breaking competition.
So you just have to pay a fee of some kind to get your sport into the Olympics?
I don't know how it works.
Because then you would think like cheerleading might be in there. You start going off sports that people actually are doing. Yeah, breaking, that's man, that was a West Coast thing, I think, when Mercedes Lewis and Maurice Jones-Drew, both UCLA guys, came to Jacksonville my second year. They were rookies. And I remember us having a conversation about that, how they grew up with the breakdancing and doing that. I was like, no, I never got down like that.
Well, I remember the movie Beat Street. It would have been like, I don't know, like
that might have been the movie he's talking about. Yeah.
84, It was around then. It was a movie that my parents turned off once they realized that they had overestimated or underestimated some of the adult themes in that movie for the age that they put it on. So then a couple of years later, when I had my own moment and it was late at night and Showtime, we had Showtime. Yes, I put Beat Street on, but by then I'd already seen Breakin', and it's even more famous sequel, Electric Boogaloo. But yeah, it looks like you have dancing. Like, I understand the idea of competition through dancing. I mean, it's kind of, to me, is a little bit what synchronized swimming is. The synchronized diving is a whole different thing than that. But the synchronized swimming is, it feels or looks like it's dancing in a pool where everybody is doing the exact same move. And by the way, if you've never seen the old Saturday Night Live synchronized swimming skit with Christopher Guest and Martin Short, it's worth 5 minutes of your life. And it'll guarantee that you will lose a lung laughing, and it's also the kind of SNL skit that they wouldn't be able to put out nowadays either. But, they have synchronized swimming. I checked it out. Think to myself, ballroom dancing is legitimate competition. That's not in the Olympics. Matt didn't actually really laugh at that moment, though, but he might have thought that was a funny thought, because I think it might be too. Think about the costumes. I mean, if you think that the gymnasts have impressive costumes, these breakers, their costumes, they basically look like kids going to school. Not too much impressive about it right now. The ballroom dancing competition, if we brought that to the Olympics, would be the best dressed competition this side of equestrian. But there is no ballroom dancing in the Olympics. I don't think there is any other form of dancing.
Do they got real polo, like horseback polo? That would be one you would think that could be on there.
I don't know.
What if we brought back the joust, where they get the long things, and you get your kind of your armor on, and you get the horses, and you just go and just spike the person. That's. I mean, let's come on, life and death type of stuff is what we need.
Well, then you could have your U.S. trials at medieval times. Why not?
Just don't have a horse allergy.
Exactly. Or I've never been to one of those either. You could get to see old style jousting competitions while you're eating a leg of mutton. They actually cook that for you? They actually make you
Nothing's
mutton?
finer than dining in your diner.
That's pretty much right. 877-377-6963 for calls and texts here. Yeah, BE said we called them boom boxes, and I know we called them boom boxes and ghetto blasters were the two things that we heard about it with. Those are the two that I always heard about. Big Phil texted, and he thinks that it is a 59-game winning streak. Yeah, that would be pretty cool if you get it to 60. We do like the big round numbers. Everybody remembers Electric Boogaloo. Nobody remembers what it was about. That's one of those sequels that you remember the movie, but you probably didn't even see it. I probably saw the movie Breakin'. I probably saw it 10 times. I still don't remember what it was about outside of just Breakin'. The second one, because my sister and I, 3.5 years apart, we had our own memberships. Before Blockbuster Video was a thing, there was the neighborhood one called West Coast Video. That's where we went and got Breakin' and Breakin' 2 Electric Boogaloo. Every kid from the 80s, every one of them remembers Electric Boogaloo just like they know Mary Lou Retton. I mean, it's just these were like Ocean Pacific, all the things that you always remember from those moments. Ryan says all the rednecks in Arkansas would be down for some jousting. I don't even think you don't need to be from wherever. Anybody can appreciate the idea of jousting. You know, is this a judged competition? No, stay on the horse.
And if I knock you off your horse, rules are I get your horse. So you better stay on your horse.
Speaking of jousting, he's called at the absolute perfect time here. A little verbal jousting with Eduardo. Eduardo the Jouster. Hey, Eduardo, how are you? What do you think about Olympic jousting? Or maybe that'd be a great way to figure out a quarterback competition at camp.
I'm all for it. You know, anything, you know, the United States, when you talk about America, man, just think of all the obstacles and adversities it's faced over the decades and years. But they overcome, and they always find a way to win. And, you know, that's my theme for this Arkansas Razorbacks football team, the 2024 football Hawk Train. And what I see, you know, I've been making some bold predictions. Well, those predictions.
Hold on, let me go through your bold predictions, Eddie, because I'm keeping a list. All right, 8-4 record, lead the SEC in sacks, 3.5 yards per rush allowed defensively. Taylen Green, 2,000 yards passing, 900 yards rushing. Arkansas has a top 5 wide receiver in the SEC in both catches and yards, and Jaquindon Jackson rushes for 1,000 yards. That's 7. Might be more than that, but I bunched a couple of them together into one prediction each. So what is Eduardo Nostradamus' 7th prediction? Big, bold prediction.
Well, there are certain predictions, sir, that you cannot measure that exist within this team. And I'm making a prediction now. And it's going to go a long way that was missing for the last couple of years in this football team. And one of them, you know, playing with clear eyes and a full heart. You know, and this team, I mean, just watch them. I mean, it's electric. And and it's taking place at this very moment. And I mentioned Morgan Wallen. I wrote the book. Well, you know, we're going to go write the book on comebacks this year. For what an opportunity for a setback. You know, we faced adversity last year. Our offense all year long was at a sink. We had a quarterback get hurt. Our offensive linemen did not live up to expectation. We did not run the football. Boy, what a year difference makes when you bring in the best play caller in the country, Bobby Petrino. And he gives you his offense, in my opinion, gives us the best chance to win on game day. Spread that on your hamburger today. And I'll tell you this, you know, I quoted this a couple of years back. Tupac Shakur, you know, and what adversity he faced in his life growing up. But he did, you know, the great entertainer died years before his time. But he was also a poet. Not only was he an entertainer, but, you know, I quoted this. And what does that mean? The rose that grew from the concrete. Well, it's going to grow this year. It's starting to bloom right now, baby. Let me tell you this. Woo! Did I hear a prediction?
Eddie, did I hear a prediction yet? I was waiting for a 7th bold prediction. I've got all sorts of other things coming up leading to it, but now I'm waiting for the kicker.
Well, I don't. For the kicker this year, you know, I don't know much about that much scouting on the new kicker this year. But I believe this. It's going to be tenacious. All men can admire tenacity. And this football team is full of tenacity this year. They haven't played it down yet, but that new chapter by Morgan Wallen, we write the book. We're going to start writing that new book come 29th of August in Little Rock, Arkansas. And then we're going to take the on the road. Woo! And beat the Cowboys and Stillwater, baby. And then you'll be getting the more in. Woo! I'm getting ready, baby.
Outstanding, Eduardo. I think the prediction is we'll wait for the prediction for the next phone call. That's my bold prediction. There'll be another phone call from Eddie in Clarksville next week. I don't know if I picked up on a bold prediction there. By the way, more Elvis Costello, I wrote the book. Less Morgan Wallen, I wrote the book. Pretty please. I don't know if he's ever brought up Elvis Costello. He's brought up Blondie, Fleetwood Mac. I'm pretty sure Tupac is his favorite. This was the first time Morgan Wallen's made an appearance in one of Eduardo's phone calls. But if we're talking I wrote the book, or I write the book, much more Elvis Costello and a lot less Morgan Wallen. Stay with Halftime. We'll be back to wrap up hour number 1 in just a moment.
This is Halftime.
Summertime in Arkansas means pond and creek fishing, and nothing catches bass and bluegill in a pond like a Rebel Crick Hopper. You can twitch it, pop it, walk it, and swim it. It's the ultralight fishing lure that looks and acts like a real grasshopper. The Crick Hopper works great in tandem with light spinning rods and reels with 4 or 6 pound fishing line. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle shops everywhere. The Rebel Crick Hopper.
When you need tough and paint just isn't enough, check out River City Coatings in Van Buren. When it comes to your metals, paint can peel and crack over time. Whether it's your patio furniture, rims or trims on your automobile, or heavy equipment, no one has time for a redo. Powder coating provides the toughness you need. Preserve your investment with powder coating from River City Coatings. River City Coatings, certified John Deere, Caterpillar, ISO 9001, Packer, and UL provider of tough. River City Coatings, 471-7675 or online at rivercitycoatings.com.
Man, I wish I knew you were here. We hear that every day at In Stock Parts, located off Highway 45 across from the cold storage in Fort Smith. Are you a maintenance technician, landscaper, farmer, or a do-it-yourselfer in need of bearings, belts, or roller chain? Or safety supplies like gloves, safety glasses, or earplugs? Maybe you need drill bits, tap and die sets, lubricants, or even a gas-powered pump or generator. Don't waste your time driving around. Stop by In Stock Parts, your industrial parts resource, or check them out online at InStockParts.com. In Stock Parts.
Has your job been grinding your gears lately? Then let me tell you about Lavorne Lumber. They're looking to fill a regional over-the-road position. They use brand new equipment in your home every weekend. Don't think you're getting paid enough? That's not the case at Lavorne Lumber. They're highly competitive in that area. So if this sounds like a great next job opportunity for you, then stop by and see Pam and the Bills Monday through Friday from 9 to 4 at Lavorne Lumber. 515 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith and online at Lavorne, Lovvorn lumber.com.
Are you tired of the overcrowded fitness centers? Would you like a fitness option where you can actually work out? Then let's hang out. The Hangout is Fort Smith's newest fitness facility. It has an 8,000 square foot gym, indoor tennis, pickleball, and basketball with more sports coming soon. The Hangout offers group and individual training in the gym and boasts 3 active tennis pros to help you grow your game. Stop in today at 5400 Gary Street or thehangoutfs.com for more information. Be a part of something different. Fitness, sports, and more. Let's hang out.
Have you tried the TGI Friday weekday deals? On Monday, they have 50-cent wings, traditional or boneless, 10-piece minimum. Tuesday, cheeseburgers and fries with a fountain drink for $10. On Wednesday, Cajun shrimp and chicken pasta for only $12. On Thursday, enjoy a half a rack of ribs for only $12. Stop by and check out the weekday deals at TGI Fridays, I-540 at Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith. In here, it's always Friday.
Sometimes I'm in a hurry. Stay in the slow lane, buddy. That's when I use the Sodies app to order my favorites and pick up in their drive-thru. They even offer a 10% discount on your first app order. Experience different at Sodies Wine and Spirits off I-540 on Phoenix Avenue.
Every day is worth celebrating at Uncorked. Cocktails, wine, craft beer, bourbons, and unbelievably great food. Uncorked on Phoenix Avenue next to Sodies.
Are you an angler having trouble finding all the bait, tackle, and more for your fishing needs? Make Awake Bait and Tackle, now located in Fort Smith next to Witts Marine. On North 11th Street is your place. Make Awake Bait and Tackle. Also has the largest selection of plastics in the River Valley. Reactor Innovation, Bobby Garland, Zoom, Mega Bass, and more. Check out the Daiwa Rod and Reels. Make Awake Bait and Tackle. 803 North 11th Street at Fort Smith. 479-926-9320. Also get your rod and reels repaired. Come see us next to Witts Marine at Make Awake Bait and Tackle.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
My name is Luca. I live on the second floor. I live upstairs from you. Yes, I think you've seen me before. If you hear something late at night, some kind of trouble, some kind of fight, just don't ask me what it was. Just don't ask me what it was. Just don't ask me what it was.
Welcome back into Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Studios. Crabtree RV Center in Alma, where we make your dreams come true.
Hey, as we focus a heck of a lot on Arkansas football and the Olympics, the U.S. Women's Amateur Championship continues later today in the quarterfinals at Tulsa Southern Hills, and a couple of Razorbacks are in the competition to head to the semifinals. It starts at 2 o'clock on Peacock if you're interested in watching. Maria Jose Marin will take on Auburn's Anna Davis. Kendall Todd against Stanford's Kelly Zhu. So it's good to see two Razorbacks that are getting this going. I think they are considered underdogs in these one-on-one matches. Also, we've got two more of our qualifying rounds for the Football Trip of a Lifetime that we have planned for next week. If you haven't qualified, how many qualified? Do we know how many qualifiers we've got right now? Seaburger, I'm putting you on the spot with that.
I believe we've got 12 at the moment.
That's a lot of qualifiers.
Yes.
Do we have another? Let's see. So the finals are August 24th. So it means we still have a couple weeks of these preliminary rounds. See if we can get another dozen more. It'd be cool to get 24 people in there just stuffing a Monster Burger in their face in 150 seconds or less. So next week, Tuesday at the Hardee's, 2720 Rogers Avenue, and Thursday at the Hardee's in Fort Smith on Phoenix Avenue. Finish that Monster Burger, 150 seconds, and your seat in the finals is reserved for the Football Trip of a Lifetime between the Cowboys and the Eagles at AT&T Stadium in Arlington on November the 10th. We've been doing this for a few weeks, and it's just a couple weeks left. It's almost like for some of these folks, Matt, it's like a preseason camp for eating during the football season. You know, they basically are doing competitive eating with themselves on Saturdays with all of their friends, too.
I do love the taste of a good burger. I mean, I don't know where you get them like that, but my girlfriend's a vegetarian, which pretty much makes me a vegetarian. But
you want to go for the entire? You want to go for the entire?
What's in that
scene?
right there? Sprite? You mind if I have some of that to wash this down?
Don't forget, there's a Turkish Olympic shooter that is also part of that scene now.
He's the new James Bond. I'm pretty sure that he's the undercover James Bond.
I think he'd be the bad guy though. If he had that look.
That's true. That's true. If you get on a plane and you see him on the plane, you might want to get on a different one.
I don't know if they'd let him on the plane. Sir, I'm sorry. You're too scary looking to get on this plane today. We're going to need you to walk to your next location.
His form was the best at all the forms too. Hand in the pocket. It's like he almost thought like if this would have been 87, he'd have had a slim cigarette.
Oh, it would have been absolutely
just hanging there. Just kind of hanging there, and he's just like woof. And
cigarette would have been all ash by that point. Just one little line of smoke going up to the ceiling. Back when they probably let you smoke inside at the Olympics, too. Everything's changed these days. Hey, the next thing now that breaking is a big thing in the Olympics, the next thing out of the 80s to be an Olympic competition, Rubik's Cube competitions. I mean, if you're impressed by any of the breaking, you will be really impressed by how quickly a Rubik's Cube can be solved, which I still, at the age of 47, been trying this for like the last probably 42 years. Have never completed a Rubik's Cube. Not one.
They should start the 200-meter race and then give them the Rubik's Cube when the 200 meters starts and see if one of them can solve it by the time the 200-meter champ gets there.
200-meter Rubik's Cube competition coming up in the second hour of halftime, which includes Dudley Dawson. So stay with us.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Hey, Ty Richardson for Jim. They have several locations in the Arkansas area, but I specifically want to talk to you about Jim Mart number 10. Great deli. My goodness. Great lunch, great dinner. But have you had the breakfast yet? It's the best in town. And they have that convenient drive-through window. So when you're heading north or south on 540, take exit number 6 for Jim Mart number 10. 6201 Grand Avenue in Fort Smith. Jim, the leading gas station and convenience store in the area.
The spring allergy and hay fever seasons are here, and Law's Drugstore has what you need to safely take care of you and your family. Law's Drugstore can fill and refill your prescriptions, and they have all of the over-the-counter allergy remedies to provide comfort. Call 452-6116 and ask about vaccine shot appointment for shingles, pneumonia, COVID, and whooping cough. Law's Drugstore, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind the Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drugstore, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
Come get you some. 2728 Townsend Avenue is your off-road and performance center headquarters. They've got everything from lift kits, wheels, LED light bars, UTV parts and accessories, winches and tires. Need general 4x4 repair? No problem. Come get you some has one of the largest 4x4 shops in the States. They do it all, from installing a bug shield to building some of the baddest off-road machines in the country. Call them today at 782-6833. That's 782-MUD. Or check them out online at cgysoffroad.com. Come get you some.
At Lowe's, we know how to save pros time and money. Save 20% on 1-gallon cans and 5-gallon pails of Valspar Defense or Cabot Stain. Plus, save 15% on your choice of 6 or more Purdy items. And get free same-day delivery to the job site when you order by 2 p.m. Because Lowe's knows pros. Valid through 8/21. While supplies last. Discount taken at time of purchase. See store or Lowe's.com for details. Must be single receipt purchase. Delivery by 8 p.m. Subject to driver availability. Additional terms apply. See Lowe's.com/same-day delivery for details.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, partly to mostly sunny sky, a high this afternoon, mid to upper 80s. Tonight, we will be mainly clear to partly cloudy, and overnight low in the low 60s, north, upper 60s, south. Chance of an isolated shower or thunderstorm on Saturday across the north, or high in the upper 70s, mid 80s, south. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by In Good Spirits, Fort Smith's premier source for fine wines, specialty beers, and liquor.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 20 days. Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect it. Smith, I'm all right. Why can't they dominate? And we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Well,
Both said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
from the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. My heart, dog. Let's go, man.
I have zero respect for saying no mock at halftime.
For one Razorback.
It's vintage Matt Jones.
1, 2, 3. Here we go. Right now, let's take the field.
Text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
Welcome back on halftime. We are into our second hour and really the last hour of all seriousness. Although if you heard the last segment, there really wasn't that much serious about it. We'll be talking with Dudley Dawson about Arkansas football practice and about the running backs because that was the topic earlier today on the press conference that should have started a little more than an hour ago and by now probably is complete. And so we'll do the football thing in the next segment. Got an open segment now if you want at 877-377-6963. Matt, I see the world record for the Rubik's Cube, because that'll have to be in Los Angeles, is 3.13 seconds. I don't know how you pull that off. Outside, it would take you it would take you longer to peel the stickers off and put it on yourself cheating. So I don't know if you can cheat your way to a gold medal in the Rubik's Cube competition, but that seems really, really quick. Fastest hands in the West. Fastest hands in the world, I guess.
5 seconds to do a Rubik's Cube. That's
3 seconds.
3 seconds. Yeah, I mean those. It's a math problem, so to speak. I've never tried to do one. It's never. I usually just get those and you throw them at people. I thought that's what it was. Just like try to. What is that?
I think you could probably be a little more accurate with a football. It's got that nice little point and a spiral. I don't know if Rubik's Cubes go very straight. You can't make them curve very well either.
What about the E-games, man? We got C-Unit just went 10. His last 10, he was 9-1. That might be good enough to get him on the podium at the Olympics. You get 10 games playing. He's playing with Arkansas, too.
We've got world competitions for esports. We have esports stadiums.
That's the next Olympic. You're going to get a gold medal for winning NCAA football in the Olympics.
It's all about the 80s, Matt. I mean, this all came, the first football, the first sports, video games came out of the 80s.
Mattel?
I don't remember who made it. I mean, but it's, I guess it would have been for the ColecoVision or your Atari 2600 or your very early Nintendo, one of those. Or was it Mattel? What was the company that made the hand?
I think that a lot of those were Mattel, yeah. But
now, those games, you could make it through an entire flight to Florida just playing finger football. Sooner or later, they got to do, paper football competitions.
Get a foosball. You get the foosball competition in the Olympics. I mean,
talk about fastest hands in the West.
I bet there's
you ever watch these the real foosball players do their foosball with their fancy foosball friends?
Woo.
And now we're really talking here. Got some real football going today, by the way. There are 3 NFL preseason games that are on the docket. Hey, did you see about the Panthers yesterday? Not only does Carolina lose, but then on the flight home to Charlotte, they skidded off the runway at like 3 a.m.
Whoa.
It's a nice way to start your season with another L. Bryce Young did not play. Another L. And a lot of Adam's apples up in the top of your head and stomachs replacing the Adam's apple in the throat. A little bit frightening there. No fights either between the Giants and the Lions, so I guess they got their point across too. But there are 3 NFL preseason games today, all kicking off right about the same time. Falcons, Dolphins, 6 o'clock, Miami. Texans, Steelers, 6 o'clock, NFL Network, Pittsburgh. Eagles, Ravens, 6:30 in Baltimore. The Steelers situation's really interesting now because Russell Wilson hasn't been able to practice very much, and Justin Fields is going to get the QB1 reps. But Tomlin keeps talking that Wilson is the supposed starter, but that it's also a quarterback competition. I just know that they're better placed with whomever it is at quarterback than I think they were last year. And it does seem like right now, Matt, the Brandon Ayuk sweepstakes is down to Pittsburgh, just depending on what it is they offer the 49ers and whether or not San Francisco feels that it's a worthy trade, or whether or not they feel of taking a chance on trying to keep Ayuk for the year. I still don't think he's practiced at all with him. Remains a hold in. So that I would assume that also means he won't be out there when San Francisco opens the preseason against Tennessee on Sunday. And I'm not expecting C.J. Stroud to get out there today, first preseason game. I would think by now, if you're one of the younger starters in the NFL, that you're going to get a series or 2. So I think we'll see. That would be C.J. Stroud against Justin Fields today in Pittsburgh, at least in the first quarter. A couple of the Buckeyes going up against each other.
Man, let's go. Go have a good game. I mean, that's what you want to see the quarterback. Just a series. I say a game. I'm sorry. Just you wanted that first game, preseason game. You want to just have a clean drive. Let's have an 8-play drive. Let's maybe go out there 2 series. About the second or third preseason game, you'll play a whole half. But I always wanted to play. I mean, let's get out there and play and get some work in. And start building something, and it's just so different. You practice it all the time. You're going up against your guys in practice, and then even a preseason game is elevated a little bit more than practice. So it's a time to go out there and sharpen your skills.
877-377-6963 for calls and texts on halftime. Good afternoon, Charles. I don't think I've ever called you that before, Charlie, but here you are. You can be
You know
Charles
what?
in charge for the moment. Now that we're getting into a lot of 1980s stuff along with breaking. Though I don't think you were alive in the 80s, so this must be brand new for you.
92, but no, Charles and Charles is actually a very common thing that I'm called. My actual government name is Stephen Charles, so you're getting there, Phil. You're figuring that is actually it.
You
I just
chose
by
to go
that
with the
weird-
middle name instead of Steven, huh?
Well, I think my parents did it. I don't know. I just go by whatever they want to call me. Tuna, Charlie, Chuck, whatever. Just go with it. Just roll with it. But I tell you, I've decided today that I am going to make this call a little bit. You know, y'all going to hear a little frustration out of the Tuna here. He doesn't do this very often. And there won't be any words that you guys have to bleep out, I promise. But I am going to be honest. And Phil, I don't know if you've seen this, but Jerry Jones come out and ran his mouth, which is what he's good at, right? And he says, you know what, we're not really looking to push to get this deal done with CeeDee Lamb. Guess what CeeDee Lamb did? He responded back to that and said, LOL.
Yeah, I saw that today. Hold on one moment here, Charlie, because I actually had this ready to play at some point during the show. This was Jerry
It makes
Jones
me
after
sick.
yesterday's day at camp for the Cowboys. Get a
And
listen.
there's a sense of urgency as we begin the preseason to get CD done? No. How do I say that? I'm just I went to high school or I went to college. I don't know why I said it, but I'm just saying I don't have a sense of urgency about getting it done. Any reason you want.
I'm cracking up at the cracking up. I mean, that's like dual evil laughs going on there when Jerry, I guess he felt backed into a corner there. I went to high school. I went to college. I don't know what the answer is, but yes, I did see CeeDee Lamb's answer on social media, which was it wasn't an uppercase, it was an all lowercase LOL.
As it should be. And you know what, Phil? I'm going to say it. I don't care if they get rid of Dak, CD, Micah, whoever. It's not going to matter because this goes back to Mike Irwin's point. Since the Tuna was running around in pull-ups, which he was pretty good at back in the day, he could really run in those pull-ups. But I'll tell you what, since then, the Cowboys have been a laughingstock of the NFL, and it's because of that crap right there. And it makes me sick. I love the Cowboys. I love the star on the side. I love the history. But they're the reason that this team has not gotten over the hump. Yes, I know the players are supposed to go out there and perform, but when the people at the top of the chain, the ladder, do not do what they are supposed to do, and that's why they don't succeed. Matt, they've had two good quarterbacks since Troy Aikman, Tony Romo and Dak Prescott. I don't care if they fire him, go get whoever. It ain't going to change nothing, man. The only thing that's going to change anything is if they fall flat on your you-know-what, hit rock bottom. That's it. And I've learned to accept that. And C-Unit, you love the Cowboys too. I want your thoughts on this too, C-Unit. I want to hear it because I know you're a passionate fan like me. But I'm just sick of them. They make me sick. They're all in. All into what? All into what? They're full of crap. Anyways, I love you guys, though, and I'm out of here. Y'all have a good one.
He is officially a boiled tuna today, Matt. It is a very upset Cowboys fan, and CeeDee Lamb, I don't know if he's upset or not. I wonder what, why Jerry says this. This is somebody that's really good, obviously, at negotiation and finding your way to an endpoint that you've tried to design. And maybe this is part of it, but it also seems like he wasn't quite sure why he said what he said.
Something's it's one or two things. Either he's already got it planned out, the deal's already done, they just haven't wrote it out yet, or there really is a little bit of a problem. I think that they've already got it figured out. I don't think there's any type of problem. I think he's just talking because that's what he does. There's 0% chance, Phil, 0% chance that you don't have CeeDee Lamb ready for game one. That doesn't make any sense.
Where do you put in terms of pecking order of importance to sign? Out of the two players that are getting all the headlines about this, is it signing Dak Prescott or is it signing CeeDee Lamb?
It's about what are your other options? Who are you going to get if you don't have Dak Prescott?
Mm-hmm.
How far off the cliff do you drop? CeeDee Lamb is better than Dak is at his position. You know, I think CeeDee Lamb's a top 5 receiver. I don't think Dak's a top 5 quarterback. So you got that, but Dak's plenty good. I mean, he's a winner. You see that he struggles against the blitz a little bit. You kind of gotta you got to get his psyche going the right way. I think he gets down on himself a little bit, but he's seen a lot. I mean, Dak's seen a lot. There's not a whole lot you can throw at him he hadn't seen. He had some new offensive coordinators. They got new things going on. You got to get him a running game, and you got to get him another receiver. You got a good tight end, so I think you got to put some pieces around him. But I don't know who else you go out and get out there. Didn't we talk about this earlier? Is Matthew Stafford a free agent next year? You start thinking, well, that's somebody you'd want to go get. I don't know if the Rams would let him go. I don't know who you can get better, but Dak's already signed, isn't he? Isn't Dak signed for this year?
He signed for this year, but this is the last year of his contract.
You got to get whenever the third preseason game is, whenever you got about 12 days before the very first NFL game for week 1, that's when you got to, that's your cutoff date. You know, on Armageddon, we were talking about the movies, what was it, Deep Impact or Sudden Impact last week, Armageddon. He said after this point, it's over with. So you got to get him in there, unless you're going to put him on the PUP list for the first 8 weeks, or unless you got something else, knowing it's a long season, you think you're all right. But to me, each game's important, and if you start the season off 2-0, you're like 60% chance to make it to the playoffs. So that week 1 is just as important as week 12, and so you want to get off to a good start and keep the numbers in your favor. CeeDee Lamb's so good, Phil. I don't think there's 5 receivers better in the NFL than CeeDee Lamb. You gotta get him in there.
There are reports that potentially a $70 million per year contract could be on the table for Dak Prescott. Very interesting. Chris likes the idea of calling him raw tuna, since he was pretty raw and angry there. But he did ask about your opinion here, C Cowboy. What do you think?
Man, I've been fed up pretty much for a while now, and I'm not going to go as far as to say Jerry doesn't want to win, but it doesn't do me any good to hear things like that. I mean, you've got to have, if you're not going to make really any moves in the offseason, you definitely have to secure the players you do have that will help you get to a Super Bowl. He kind of seems like he's not really ever worried about it, and a little overconfident going into this year, I think. I mean,
just be playing some mental games. I don't know. When it comes to the art of negotiation, sometimes it's a mental. I mean, it is a mental and emotional competition.
You get him signed, and the thing is too, CD has to get his body acclimated to going in practice and getting ready for a game, because that's how you pull a quad, you pull a groin, you pull a hammy, a soft tissue. You got to get. That's why I said you need 12 days too. You need a little bit of camp. He doesn't have to be there for all 30 days, but you got to get him in there at least 2 weeks before the first game.
He needs to focus more on the players. I know this sounds kind of weird because he's a businessman, but he needs to kind of take some of the load off the business part of the organization and just kind of focus in on the players. What do we need personnel-wise? Things like that. How do we pay these guys? He doesn't really do well at that. It doesn't seem like he thrives in that part.
$70 million is a jarring number too. When you think about Dak and the idea that he's not a top 10 quarterback in the league, as good as he can be, but the salary cap goes up again next year. I mean, who knows? Maybe $70 million at some point in the next 3 years is, I wouldn't say a midway point, but won't be top of the list as it would be if he does sign it right now. All right, quick break on halftime. We'll get back to our guests. Dudley Dawson from Hogville joins us from Arkansas football practice right after this.
Connor, all I'll say is truck, yeah.
Your home for every Razorback football game.
College to midfield, the 40, the 30, College at the 20, to the 10, to the 5, to the pylon, touchdown Arkansas!
As you can tell, this means a lot,
Only on ESPN 95.3.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Patriot Transport wants to thank their drivers for their hard work and dedication. The local and over-the-road drivers are essential to the Patriot Transport mission. Day in and day out, Patriot Transport drivers are on the road striving for safety and success. To the behind-the-scenes dispatch and office employees, Patriot Transport thanks them as well for the hard work they put in day and night. If you want to be a part of the Patriot Transport family, visit patriottransport.com. Patriot Transport is located in Danville, Arkansas.
This is Coke Zero Sugar. Could I be the best Coke ever? Try and taste with your ears. Hear those bubbles? Imagine them tingling on your tongue. Fizzy deliciousness.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, Sakhalin.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is your number one source for all your sports betting needs this season. From baseball, golf, soccer, right to all the top fights in UFC, MMA, and boxing. Every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. When the game's over, head over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker or unwind with one of our over 150 slots games. Head to the website today to get in on the action. Use promo code BELIEVE for your 50% free bet credit on your first deposit up to $250. Bet online. The game starts here.
This song hit number 2 without one guitar. Gary Wright traveled with George Harrison to India for spiritual enlightenment and wrote Dream Weaver, describing God as infinite love and compassion, seeing him through the trials of the night. Of the 330 million gods of Hinduism, not one will get you to the morning light, but only through the blood of Jesus Christ. Satan is a master deceiver, weaving many into make-believers. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Hey, ESPN 96.3 and hitthatline.com. Have you been to Swark Liquor? Trey Gentry and his team have a phenomenal spot. It's the first liquor stop in Arkansas for our Dallas and Texas fans traveling up to the hill. So if you're heading to Fayetteville, the lake, a cabin weekend, hunting, fishing, or any other activity you need your favorite drink, stop by Swark Liquor. And check out their apparel too. You'll want to wear it. Swark Liquor, 864 East Collin Ray Drive into Queen, Arkansas. Swark Liquor, we promise to keep them cold for you.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Call or text 877-377-6963. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Always appreciate some time from Dudley Dawson with Hogville, and he joins us today on a Friday afternoon on halftime right after Arkansas football practice and running back coach Colby Smith and his preseason press conference, along with, I don't know the running backs that were out there, but that's why we got Dudley here. Hey, Dudley, how you doing today?
I'm doing good. I was listening to Heart there on the bumper music and thinking back to my first ever concert I went to that didn't include Grand Ole Opry. It was Heart and Fleetwood Mac. That was pretty good.
That's an all-star. Where did you see this show?
Little Rock.
Barton
Coliseum.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's where all the old good classic concerts took place in that city, that's for sure. Colby Smith is the running back coach for the Razorbacks. This is somebody that should be very well-versed in the Bobby Petrino offense, and also somebody that has been working in the NFL for the previous 4 years. What did you hear from Coach Colby Smith today?
Well, one thing that I thought was funny, people are trying to make Coach Petrino out to be a calm-down guy now. But he said he's as feisty as ever, and as you know, he demands perfection, and that's what they're trying to get with the running backs. They lost obviously some very good running backs, but brought in some, and they're real happy with what they're seeing out of Rodney Hill, and one of the new guys, and Braylon Russell, who is aptly named a load at 253 pounds. I had some video of him the other day getting in the end zone. I think they're going to be okay on these 3-yard things this year when they weren't last year.
What did you get a chance to see at practice today? Did it look like there might have been some of the guys that I'm nervous about a number of 15 players that missed the scrimmage. Whether it's major or minor, it still makes me a little nervous. I think these scrimmages are really important. Did you see any guys return today?
Well, I agree, too, with that. And, it was kind of shocking the amount of people they held out, and they're being cautious. And I guess you can take some good things coming out that these concussions mean they're going at each other, and having a physical practice. I think we all know over the past several years that college football has become, in practice a lot has become, flag football stuff, and as coaches try to keep from injuries. But, yeah, that was a lot of people. There were some that made it back today, but I do think that, it's always worrisome. And what are we, less than 3 weeks now from this thing? So, I guess it's the first game's on Thursday, and you want to see those guys getting back to practice. It's going to be real important. Next Thursday they have another scrimmage. It's going to be real important that there's guys in there that are going to need to be playing that first game. They've got to get some of those guys back. That was just too many out.
Hey, Dudley, do you think that after talking to the running back coach, is there a running back you think could have a 1,000-yard rushing season, or is it going to be by committee?
I think it looks like it's going to be by committee because they're talking about several people being in that rotation now. The young man that came from Utah, we think that he's going to be good, but they've Rodney Hill, Braylon Russell, they've just got a lot of names there that I think they're going to do. I guess what's become really kind of the norm in college football is have a committee instead of one guy that just gets 30 carries. That just doesn't happen really in the pros even now.
Hey, and then another thing, Phil and I we kind of touched on this a little bit yesterday, but the last time the Arkansas Razorbacks had a defensive end get 10 sacks in a season, Bobby Petrino was here. You got to play with the lead a little bit. Is there a talent outside of Landon Jackson? I mean, is Landon Jackson that guy that you think could get to double-digit sacks this year?
I think Landon Jackson is that guy. I'm real interested to see what kind of year Cameron Ball has. He appears that he's ready for a breakout. 10 sacks may be a lot because I think he'll see some double team action as well, but that will allow those other guys, as you know, to get back in the backfield. And I do, it's going to depend a lot on how those linebackers play. That's like a totally new linebacking group, and they feel real good about them. But until we see them in SEC action, or maybe even against Oklahoma State, I'm going to reserve a judgment on that. But if they can come through, then I think you've got the front, the front and the secondary to have a lot more pressure. And I think that the co-coordinators have made it clear they're going to be aggressive this year.
What do you think about interior on the defensive line? Because, I mean, that's where you have a ton of experience. Thinking of Eric Gregory, Keevy Rose. I really like Cam Ball and think that there's even room for him to improve. Sounds like Ian Gifford might be getting a little closer to a point with his weight where he'd be able to get out there and play in more consistent
Big old dude.
basis.
It's a big old dude.
Yeah, and also this Danny Saley, who came from BYU. Talk about another guy that I think he actually may be pretty close to outweighing Gifford.
Yeah, and Anton, and I'm not even going to try to pronounce his last name. It starts with a J. But he's another guy. Yeah, okay. But that's another guy that, missed the scrimmage the other day that they have high hopes for. I thought it was funny, and I was telling somebody yesterday when Coach Pittman said he's looking for a fourth defensive tackle and a fourth defensive end to be in that rotation. I remember last year when they were just looking for a couple, that they were having trouble down there. I think they feel like they've really complemented the people that they have here with getting the others around them, and they've got some guys that have the size and really, having grown up in Newport, Arkansas, and played for Bill Keedy, it's always been about running the ball and stopping the run, and I believe that's going to lead to however much success Arkansas has this year.
Dudley, did you get your eyes on that amazing Olympic comeback yesterday that this U.S. team had? And I was going to kind of get your thoughts on if you were to have an MVP on this team, would it be LeBron? I know he had a triple-double. I know Steph kind of came out of his shell and had like a flashback to 2017 Steph. But, yeah, what did you think of that game?
Yeah, I thought Steph was the star of the game, but LeBron is the star of the team. He is the glue that holds it together. I never thought I'd say LeBron James is the glue guy for them, but he's doing, as you said, a little bit of everything. And I've gained a lot more respect for him and the way he's playing here than maybe he does in the NBA. And you can tell it means a lot to him, and I find that cool too. But yeah, LeBron has been fantastic. It's been interesting. I've been a little disappointed that Jason Tatum hadn't played as much. Obviously, hadn't played in 2 games, not a minute. But at the same time, I get it, man. You've got so much talent there that it's hard to work people in. I think that's what we're going to see in basketball here this year as well. It's going to be, so much talent that we're going to see some very good players sitting over there, riding the bench.
It's like you got to check your ego at the door when it comes to it, like a collection of talent like you got with Team USA. I guess they have to view it in a little bit of a microcosm. The same thing with this Arkansas basketball team. The difference is, like, these guys in the NBA, they've got their career already. For some of the guys that are coming into Arkansas right now, this is where you start to really make your career. So that does, I don't know if I'd say like worry or anything, but you do wonder a little bit about locker room chemistry when there are guys that came here hoping, expecting, and maybe even thought the way that they practice that they deserve 20, 22 minutes a game, but they're in the low teens or maybe even single-digit minutes or not getting the minutes they expect. So that is one thing I'd look at going into this year.
Yeah, and I do think that he did a really good job for getting his philosophy out there when he was bringing these guys in. He made clear that he was going to have 9 guys or so that played, and the rest were going to fill out the roster and be there for practice and all that and develop and get their chance the following year. I thought that was pretty smart of him, and still he was able to get some great talents in here, including some guys that were going to go other places, and decided that it would be better for them to come here and get a few minutes instead of go somewhere else and get a lot of minutes. You're not usually able to talk people into doing that.
Let me ask you a quick Cardinals question here. What is going on with Nolan Arenado? Now I remember something happened with him when he was still with the Rockies, and I saw this with him even all the way back at AA when he was coming up in the Texas League with the Tulsa Drillers. Is that sometimes he gets in his own feels. I don't think he's been like that for a few years, but I saw him dog it at AA before. I know he got called out by the Rockies in 2014. And there have been a couple of instances recently that I've only seen, I wouldn't call them highlights, just sort of lowlights of. They're like, does he realize that the ball came to him? Like, what's going on with Arenado right now?
It's just really weird. And he's one of my favorite players of all time, even before he got to the Cardinals. And it's been dispiriting or disappointing, whatever. The ball down the third baseline the other day was just ridiculous. I mean, he just let it roll, and you could say maybe he was going to let it go foul, but it never was going to go foul, and he's not run out some things. It's really disappointing. He's actually starting to hit the ball better now than him and Goldsmith were during earlier in the year. But yeah, I think the malaise of the team is getting to him, and it's disappointing because Milwaukee was there for the taking, and the Cardinals have just kind of dropped back to 7 now, and my days are a lot better when they win than when they lose. So it's not a good time.
We see reports of potentially a $70 million a year contract for Dak Prescott. The moment I said that here on halftime, like 5 texts just shot right in. You got to be kidding me. This is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. It'd be the most Jerry Jones thing ever. I just wonder if that's also potentially like a going rate at some point for quarterbacks who sometimes can be really good but have a little trouble in the postseason.
He's not worth that, but he's probably going to get that. And that's just the price of doing business these days. I mean, what was it? A couple of weeks ago, I was sitting around watching TV, and all of a sudden, Tua got his big contract, and then Jordan Love got his big one. And I thought, well, those guys hadn't done enough to get those, but it's just the price of doing business now. And franchise quarterbacks, even if they don't live up to their potential, are so rare in these days in the pros, and you just have to put out the money. And I did see one thing that I thought was really good. Some of the owners and Goodell are talking about having a separate salary cap for quarterbacks and the rest of the team. I could get down with that.
That's an interesting idea. Something to get into another time, Dudley. We'll leave it there. Thanks for coming on today. Always appreciate you.
Hey, anytime, man.
Thanks, Dudley.
Dudley Dawson with Hogville joining us today on halftime. Hey, Joe's Grill and Cantina today, Fajita Friday. Get $1 off all and any fajitas all day long. Plus, you get $1 off. You get the flavored margarita is the featured drink. Tomorrow, the Mexicali and swirls at Joe's Grill and Cantina. Plus, with NFL football preseason and the Olympics on the TV, they've got TVs all around the restaurant. You'll never miss a play. It's the best Tex-Mex and better service. Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th, right across from Harps. Joe'sFortSmith.com if you want to put it in order or just get a look at their menu. The number on halftime is 877-377-6963, and we'll be back in just a moment.
They were so convincing in their argument, they swung me.
This is Halftime. You can now download our new app in the iTunes or Google Play Store. Listen anytime and anywhere on your favorite mobile device. Just search Hit That Line now.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including trusted generic alternatives to the name brands, at up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at Hims, so is treating it. Just go to hims.com/joy and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free, with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
This is Halftime.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Harry Robinson Salisol Ford wants to buy or trade for your vehicle today, and they will give you top dollar. Pre-owned car values are at historic all-time highs, and your car today is worth more than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, and they'll give you more than any other dealer. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they'll still buy yours. Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisol.
Precision Garage Door features the finest quality materials, installation, and service for all your garage door needs, including garage door repair and new garage doors and openers. Fully licensed and insured with the largest showroom in Northwest Arkansas at 1907 Town West Drive in Rogers and in Fort Smith at 416 North 10th Street. Call Precision Garage Door today at 844-PDS-DOOR or check them out online at PrecisionDoorNWA.com. Financing is available. Precision Garage Door, voted best garage door company of Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley.
Remodeling your bathroom? Don't let your imagination be limited by out-of-the-box shower doors or tub enclosures. Arkansas Glass and Mirror is your local source for all things glass, including plexiglass, mirrors, and shower doors since 1964. Arkansas Glass and Mirror has more selections, better prices, and the experience to help you build the shower of your dreams. They also have the only showroom in the area to help you create those dreams. Professional installation and professional service. Only at Arkansas Glass and Mirror, 1316 South C Road, Fort Smith, or online at arkansasglassandmirror.com.
Why do people love Shamrock Liquor Warehouse? Simple. They've got it all. 70 years in business, 15,000 square feet of choices. They buy in volume so you can save. What else? How about the largest selection of everything? Shamrock's got it. Special orders? Shamrock's got it. Convenient drive-through, open 6 days a week? Shamrock's got it. Need a keg for your party? Shamrock's got it. Load up at Shamrock Liquor Warehouse at the corner of Midland and Riverfront Drive in Fort Smith.
Whether it's torque, horsepower, or just extreme work, diesel trucks do their job. But when your diesel truck needs maintenance or repair, it's time to head to Extreme Diesel. Everything from standard maintenance to extreme repairs, including injector testing. Extreme Diesel delivers. They have the tools and service for your Cummins, Duramax, or Power Stroke. You trust your truck to deliver on your needs, and you can trust your truck at Extreme Diesel. 6630 Alma Highway between Van Buren and Alma. Check them out on Facebook or give them a call at 651-3363. They're bilingual, now offering CP4 solutions for both Chevy and Ford.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Call or text 877-377-6963. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
The 3-1 score remains in favor of Spain in the gold medal match for Olympic soccer. Women's basketball is through to the gold medal match, 85-64 against Australia. I think they'll play, what is it, either France or Belgium is who they'll play in the gold medal match, which is the last competition in the Olympics, which will be Sunday evening. And then, I was thinking about this today as I'm trying to gather information for the show today, Matt. I've enjoyed the Olympics, but I'm excited. I'm happy that they're coming to an end because I can't keep up with everything. It's way too much. And I feel like there are a lot of things that I miss that are worthy of bringing up. Like case in point, Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone, who won the 400-meter hurdles yesterday by setting her 6th different world record in the last 4 years. I don't know where to take something like that, but I just know every day I feel like there's probably 3 or 4 competitors who are worthy of at least mentioning on a sports radio show, even if it's this far away from the Olympics and might not even be an American. It's too much to keep up with. I feel like it's a lot easier to keep up with almost everything that happened on a college football Saturday rather than on some random Thursday in the Olympics. It's fun, but my head is literally on a swivel. My eyes got crossed, and that's partially because I went to the eye doctor today and had my eyes dilated. Just in the last 10 minutes, my eyesight is back to normal, and I don't feel like I've got some self-induced headache. But I'm kind of looking forward to next week, just being Major League Baseball, a little NFL preseason, and a lot of college football preseason talk.
Yeah, that time change, it's tough to keep up. I think you'll keep up better in 4 years when they're in America. I saw the USA win the bronze this morning. Getting ready for work. I think they were playing the Italians for the bronze medal game. So that
was volleyball, right?
Yeah. So that's another medal.
So the women's volleyball team is through to the finals too. They had an intense match against Brazil last night. I was able to watch the first couple of sets, but then I got, I like the Olympics, but I like baseball more, and I went to see the Travelers last night with the kids. So I missed the last. I guess that went to 5 full sets with Team USA.
How are the Travelers?
3-2 victory.
How are they doing this year?
Well, honestly, I don't know. I don't follow them on a day-by-day basis. I know that almost every game I go to, they never score. I don't know. It's not even just that. Like, it's a team that just can't score very much this year. And yesterday's game, I thought, was on pace for about an hour and 45 minutes until about the 7th inning. Travelers scored a run in the 7th, hit a home run in the 8th. There is one former SEC player out there that had one of the better names that Bubba literally laughed on the air about. Blake Rambush is an Arkansas Traveler. But I was disappointed. Like, I'm one of those people that if you see a game go fewer than 2 hours, I'm really impressed, and that's something that stays with me. I think yesterday's Traveler game went like 2 hours and 4 minutes, which for me was 1 beer, 1 deluxe nachos, 1 peanut butter ice cream sandwich, and that was about it. We had a good time, though.
Yeah, good living right there.
It was really good. Hey, and speaking of baseball here real quick, today is the 22nd anniversary of Barry Bonds hitting his 600th career home run, which at that point there were only 4 members of the 600 home run club. It was Hank Aaron, Babe Ruth, Willie Mays, and then Bonds. There are now 9 players. There have been 5 more that have crossed the 600 home run barrier. And I feel like 600 home runs is what 500 used to be. 500 home runs, there's 28 players that have hit 500 career home runs. But yeah, Sosa, Jim Thome, Griffey, Mays, A-Rod, Pujols, Ruth, Aaron, Bonds. And not all of them are going to make the Hall of Fame. Like, Bonds is no longer eligible. A-Rod is still eligible, but I don't think he'll get in. That's 2 of them. Sosa, I don't think he's ever going to get in. Griffey is. Is any of these eligible still? Yeah, Pujols. Pujols will get in. That's a first ballot Hall of Famer. And now there are as many members of the 700 home run club, 4, as there were when Bonds hit his 600th. So, the currently the active home run leader in Major League Baseball is Giancarlo Stanton, who can never stay healthy. He's 34 years old. He has hit 420 career home runs, which is a ton. But I think by now he probably should have crossed the 500 home run barrier based upon his pace.
Does he
for his
get
first
there?
Few years.
Do you think he gets to 500?
That's a good question.
Yeah,
that's a good question. I mean, in order to do that, you have to. I think you have to be able to at least get out there and play for like 100 to 120 games a year.
Yeah.
He'll probably cross that barrier now, but it's always something with him. Whether it's a foot, it's the thing that I would worry about with Stanton is there's always like an oblique or there's a foot injury, and it seems like it always happens to him. So, man, I guess I'd be surprised if he doesn't find a way to hit 80 more home runs. But he's 34. I don't know how much longer he's signed with New York, and somebody will sign him. It won't be to the level of money that he makes with the Yankees, which when he signed it was a ridiculous amount, $25 million a year now. And so that's kind of on the backslope of his home run of his guaranteed money. Mike Trout is at the 2nd most home runs. There's a guy that can't play a full season either. He's out for the rest of the year with another meniscus tear. Goldschmidt and Votto are the 3rd and 4th all-time. Freddie Freeman, Nolan Arenado after that. Aaron Judge is kind of down on the list. I guess a little farther than you'd expect.
Some of those names like the Votto and the Goldschmidt, I mean, do they have 500 at-bats left in their game? I don't know how many more at-bats they're going to get.
I don't think Votto's on a team this year.
I'd say, yeah, there you go.
But I don't know if he ever, officially retired.
Saw him play when Brandon Phillips was their second baseman. Man, I can't think of their center fielder, but he had a cool name. But Votto was first. The game I actually went to live. What I'm saying, but Votto, you could tell he was a man amongst boys. Like he just looked. That was prime Votto. About what would that have been, like 2010? 2009. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, his case for the Hall of Fame would be pretty interesting with his ability to get on base, being the top of the list. But Judge is 2 home runs short of 300 for his career, and he's 32 years old. So this is about the time where like Stanton began to break down a little bit. That's the age where Trout is breaking down a little bit as well. Judge, and I know he's had a couple of injuries here and there, but has mostly been a durable player. Bonds hit 279 home runs from his age 32 to his age 37 season. He was 37 when he hit his 600th home run. Of course, there were some things that he was probably ingesting or dropping or rubbing into his knee that was helping him out a little bit here. And as great of an athlete as Bonds was, he wasn't a freak. Like, he was a regular-looking human being before everything got a lot bigger. Judge is a freak. Like, he's 6'7" to be able to cover the amount of room he can in the outfield and hit with that big of a strike zone is amazing. And I guess one of the things about Judge too is, well, they even pitched to him. They haven't given him the Bonds treatment yet, an intentional walk with the bases loaded, but there have started to be intentional walks with 2 outs and nobody on base. Nobody wants to pitch to him.
Is that an RBI?
Yes.
As it should be. Okay, I was making
Absolutely
sure.
It is.
That's an RBI. Okay.
That's an RBI-F, an RBI fear. It's a fearful RBI for the pitcher and the manager that called for it. 877-377-6963 if you want to get with us. Travis in Prairie Grove thinks that the center fielder with a great name that you're thinking of was Coco Crisp.
No, he's the Indians. He's a white center fielder. I think he's a white dude. I'll think of it.
All right, we'll double check on that. We'll come back, wrap up hour number 2 of Halftime after this break.
It's like I picked the wrong week to quit smoking.
This is Halftime. It's summer clearance sale time at Jelco Outdoors. Save 25% off summer casual and fishing clothing by Ariat, Rig, Hook, Wrangler, and Under Armour. Old Town kayaks and canoes, marked to cost. Save hundreds of dollars on the Old Town while they last. Archers, get ready for early bow season. Don't miss the summer clearance sale at Jelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith.
Pay attention. This happens fast. Routine, scheduled, maintenance. You know it's coming one day, but that day's in the future. Then the future comes, and your wallet's not ready for that $250 maintenance. But your forklift is. It needs it. Good thing you're smart. You're buying a used forklift from Medley Equipment Company this summer, and its first planned maintenance will be free because Medley keeps you moving.
I'm branch manager Dennis Mabry. Visit medleycompany.com or see us at 4001 Harper Avenue, Fort Smith, Arkansas.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
When you need tough and paint just isn't enough, check out River City Coatings in Van Buren. When it comes to your metals, paint can peel and crack over time. Whether it's your patio furniture, rims or trims on your automobile, or heavy equipment, no one has time for a redo. Powder coating provides the toughness you need. Preserve your investment with powder coating from River City Coatings. River City Coatings, certified John Deere, Caterpillar, ISO 9001, Packer, and UL provider of tough. River City Coatings, 471-7675 or online at rivercitycoatings.com.
Let's see. Leaky faucet Tuesday. Water flooding the yard. Better put that down for the middle of the month when the bills aren't due.
Honey, what are you doing?
Planning our plumbing problems, of course.
You can't plan our plumbing problems, but you should plan our plumber.
What do you mean?
Like all important contacts, I keep Westark Plumbing in my phone. They're always there when we need them, and they don't overcharge since they know we don't plan our plumbing problems. Here, honey, here's their number.
646-5151. Thanks, babe.
Westark Plumbing. We keep you flowing.
Brothers Roofing and Restoration, a licensed and insured local roofing contractor in Arkansas. Since his playing days for the Hogs, Brother Alexander has been on rooftops, many years as an adjuster.
And in the past decade as a roofing contractor, he knows how to help you through the insurance process while replacing your roof using only the industry's best materials. And being a lifelong Arkansan, he'll be here to stand behind his workmanship and warranty. Call 479-353-3877 to arrange a time for Brother and his team to inspect your roof.
Who can you trust to sell your home for the most money with the least amount of drama? You need a team of agents with decades of experience, commitment, and of course, tens of thousands in marketing. I'm talking about the Limbird team. Tara Limbird, Limbird Real Estate Group, has sold over $1 billion in real estate. Tara's team can give you a cash offer in 72 hours, or use Tara's high-octane marketing to sell your home quite possibly for thousands over asking. Find out more at LimbirdTeam.com. LIMBIRD.
Before you buy that next car or truck, stop by Broadway Motors in Van Buren. The best of the best for 2 straight years. Michael and his team offer the best prices on the best quality pre-owned vehicles in the River Valley. They invite you to stop by and check it out for yourself. Or if you prefer to check out their inventory online or even do your financing online. Michael has built his reputation as a husband, father, and owner-operator since 2006. Broadway Motors, 806 Broadway in Van Buren, or online at BroadwayMotorsAR.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
There's a man who's been out sailing in a decade full of dreams, and he takes her to a schooner, and he treats her like a queen, and beats from California with her amber stones and green. He has called her from the harbor, he has kissed her with his freedom, he has heard her off to starboard, in the breaking and the breathing of the water wheel.
Welcome back into Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Studios. Crabtree RV Center in Alma, where we make your dreams come true.
I think Halftime Now is officially the only sports show, I'll just say in Arkansas, that's ever started a segment with Joni Mitchell. But I can get with that.
Well, it's, we're listener supported. We like to thank our listeners and people that text in, and we had a request for some Joni Mitchell, and we've been having a theme. What is it? Y chromosome today. That's our theme. So we've been going, bringing that in, and it's been fun, man. I like our Friday shows.
Chris requested either Joni Mitchell or Kate Bush, but then he asked about Hole, which we won't play Hole.
I'm not a what's her name? Courtney Love.
That's it.
Not a Courtney Love fan. I mean, there's nothing against her, whatever, get it, but not a Courtney Love fan.
Yeah, I'd play Nirvana over Hole. And just, go back to the day where it'd be like, stay away from him, please. Just pretty please.
More Fiona Apple, more Fiona Apple than.
Yeah, that would be some emo music for you too. That would work for us.
Portishead, Courtney Barnett, St. Vincent. I get down.
I still have the Godfather theme stuck in my head. We finished Godfather 2 yesterday. First question that my son Gabriel asked when the movie was over is, do you want to start part 3? My answer at that point was, well, it's 10:30 at night. It's a little late. I'm going to bed. That was my way of trying to delay what I think feels like the inevitable, but this is my opportunity to maybe not ruin the franchise for the boy.
Watch it. Absolutely.
You think so?
Yeah. Let him see it, make his own opinion. Don't let him just, what'd you think? France has a penalty kick. It's 3-2. We're in extra time. This is to tie it up. Whoa. We everybody thought it was over.
I see big celebrations going on in the Olympic Stadium.
Man.
Very big celebrations going on.
You're going to get some free golf. You're going to get free golf. They're going to give you another 30 minutes, and then they might have a shootout. I saw a shootout in water polo yesterday. And they after they get to 5-5, you start going back to the same ladies because it was women's. We missed it on our 6th time. Australia was 6-6 and they took it home.
I also understand we kind of crapped the bed on the men's 4x100 relay.
First exchange. Couldn't get it done. First exchange.
I heard the announcers say that the heart stops 4 times in any of these relay races. Just before you take off, and then with each handoff, with each exchange.
The 5th would be when Amber Heard gets in the bed.
Stay with Halftime, hour number 3 after this.
Waiting on someone to bale your hay? Come in to Gray Brothers Equipment and let us show you how affordable only your own Kubota hay equipment can be. Bale your hay when it's ready, not when it's burned up. With economical pricing at Gray Brothers and affordable interest rates from Kubota, this year is the year to bale your own hay. That's Gray Brothers Equipment in Fort Smith and Poto, where if you pick orange, you'll never get a lemon.
You never know what you will walk up on or find over the hill at the Tackle Box. For almost 50 years, the Tackle Box has been your home for hunting and fishing supplies and some of the best outdoor stories. Whether guns, ammo, fishing supplies, or home decor, come back and see them again. They even buy your old fishing tackle or guns. The Tackle Box, your sports store for hunting, fishing, firearms, and more. 3010 Street, Fort Smith, 646-3193.
The adventure starts at the Tackle Box for sportsmen just like you.
Football, fantasy drafts, new school supplies. It's my favorite time of year. I'm Jackie Mock with Mock Legal Solutions. Born and raised in the River Valley, I know how crazy traffic can get this time of year. As kids head back to class, remember to use caution at crosswalks and in school zones. But not all accidents can be avoided. If you or your loved one is injured in a car wreck, call today. 479-769-1505. No win, no fee. Mock Legal Solutions. Real advice, reasonable price.
The spring allergy and hay fever seasons are here, and Law's Drugstore has what you need to safely take care of you and your family. Law's Drugstore can fill and refill your prescriptions, and they have all of the over-the-counter allergy remedies to provide comfort. Call 452-6116 and ask about vaccine shot appointment for shingles, pneumonia, COVID, and whooping cough. Law's Drugstore, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind the Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drugstore, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
This is the story of the one. As a facility technician installing a new welding station, he knows getting the ventilation right is critical for safety. That's why when questions arise, there's Grainger. Grainger offers detailed technical product information online at his fingertips, so it's easy to find what he needs. Because when it comes to safety, having answers means he and his people can breathe a little easier. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, partly to mostly sunny sky, a high this afternoon, mid to upper 80s. Tonight, we will be mainly clear to partly cloudy, an overnight low in the low 60s, north upper 60s, south. Chance of an isolated shower or thunderstorm on Saturday across the north, or high in the upper 70s, mid 80s, south. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by In Good Spirits, Fort Smith's premier source for fine wines, specialty beers, and liquor.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 20 days. Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center studios.
Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com. We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect it. Smith, I'm all right. Why can't they dominate? And we not doing it. We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field. Yeah. Matt Jones, take it to the house.
Both said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Olson and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. What's my heart, dog? Let's go, man.
I have zero respect for saying no moss at halftime.
For one Razorback. That is vintage Matt Jones. 1, 2, 3. Here we go. Right now, let's go to the field.
Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olson and Matt Jones. And we welcome you back into the golden hour, our last hour of the week here on Halftime. ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com. Phil Elson with Matt Jones, Christian Johnston producing, Neil Atkinson from Bet Saracen coming up in about 15 minutes. I guess this is the first time since, was it the week of July the 8th, that we actually are about to complete the entire week together, all five of us at the same time. Matt, you were off the week before. I was off a little bit the week after that. Then I was ill. So, yeah, this is it's a seminal week.
It's like CeeDee Lamb getting to camp. You just got to have everybody together at least 10 days before the first game. Just get the rust off a little bit.
We'll get some of the rust off later today with a set of preseason games in the NFL. For those who are interested in watching it, Falcons-Dolphins, 6 o'clock. Texans-Steelers, 6 o'clock. Eagles-Ravens at 6:30. And I was reading a little bit about seems like the relationship between Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni went way downhill last year. They hired Kellen Moore as the offensive coordinator. And hopefully that'll help out a little bit because Hurts is, man, that was the thing that I didn't see coming last year, the Eagles falling off as badly as they did. And Ravens, I guess it'll be the first time. Wonder, does Derrick Henry need to tote the rock all that much? That's one of those guys that may have just earned his carries no matter what. And it's, I don't know. He's the guy who's usually delivering the hits. Does he need to get used to being hit once again, as big as he is?
0 carries. I wouldn't even put his shoulder pads on him in the preseason. Right. There's no way I have him in a preseason game.
Of course, all of these games have odds as well on Bet Saracen. So make sure you got it on your Apple iPhone. Download from the App Store, Android users, Google Play, all the web browsers as well at betsaracen.com. See what else is coming on Saturday. That's when most of the preseason games are played. Only 2 on the schedule on Sunday. Saturday, Washington at the Jets. I don't know if we'll see. I would assume they'd want Jaden Daniels to get out there and play, but I don't know. I thought I'd read where he'd had an injury where it might keep him out. No Aaron Rodgers for the Jets, and that's already been confirmed at least for the first 2 games of the preseason. Caleb Williams will make his professional debut for the Bears against the Bills. That is a 12 o'clock kickoff at Orchard Park. And I guess you'd say that's one of the more anticipated debuts in the number 1 overall pick. I was going to play a little sound for you there, but I had something else on for the moment, so I won't play that sound for you instead. Other games, Raiders and Vikings, Packers at the Browns, Bucks and Bengals, Niners and the Titans, Chiefs, Jaguars, Seahawks, Chargers, Saints and Cardinals, Broncos and Colts on Sunday, and the Cowboys and the Rams Sunday afternoon is the last game, and no Monday Night Football, at least not yet. Women's hoops is head to their 8th consecutive final in the Olympics with a dominant victory over Australia. We'll play either France or Belgium. That game underway now as well. And the 4x400 relay for the men's advance. This was a guy that we'd brought up yesterday, Matt. Quincy Wilson, the youngest U.S. Olympic track athlete of all time, but he came up. He got the honor of starting that race for the Americans, but was 7th out of 8 when he handed it off. So it doesn't look like he's going to be part of the finals, although his team did run through to the final. I don't think they're going to have Wilson as part of this race. Looked like that moment might have gotten to him a little bit.
Hey, he'll be there the next 2 Olympics. He should be there. So I like getting him experience, and he got to see what it's like. And yeah, he should be able to get a medal. I kind of correlate it to Jason Tatum. In 4 years, Jason Tatum would be starting playing a lot of minutes in the Olympics. So he's getting a firsthand view of how hard it is. That it's not something that you're just going to stumble into. It's not easy to win a gold medal. And you see that USA almost lost it if it wasn't for just a great effort in the 4th quarter. But Jason Tatum's getting to see it go down firsthand.
Serbian team just looked like they were almost unconsolable, especially Bogdan Bogdanovic, who I've seen him a little bit in the NBA. I know he's a really good player. That looked like he was coming out with the game of his life. And just could not be stopped until then. They went 0 for 9 from long range in the 4th quarter, and he looked absolutely crestfallen in the post-game handshakes, which were mostly hugs and handshakes for the Americans to themselves, and then the Serbians reluctantly came over and did the same. It would have been one of the biggest stuff, considering that the last time the USA did not win gold, they didn't have their most talented team out there. When you look at the guys who are on the court, most of the game yesterday and basically all the guys that were out there in the fourth quarter, 4 MVPs and Devin Booker, who is, one of the best players in the NBA, I think that could have gone down as the biggest upset in Olympic basketball history had they not pulled it off. As good as Jokic is and as good as the rest of that team is, that is just too much talent. I mean, like first ballot Hall of Fame talent to lose and really be dominated the way that they were dominated for the first about, 2.5 quarters to most of the third quarter too.
Well, they didn't. Their intensity on defense wasn't there until the fourth quarter. I thought they would come out in the second half. They just they're kind of playing pickup ball, and then you noticed in the fourth quarter they start picking up full court, and it's like they flip it on. It's like, do we want to do it the whole game? I'd like to just say, hey guys, let's go out there and do it in the first quarter. But I get it because we're going to have a deeper team than everybody you play. And so the fourth quarter, your legs get tired. You turn up the intensity. Those shots are coming short. Had some just dumb turnovers the Serbia team did, but it was all because the USA team decided to play defense. And if you do that, I mean, Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, LeBron James, we all know those guys are first ballot Hall of Famers. I think Joel Embiid's a Hall of Famer. I mean, he's on that track. I don't know if he retired right now. Is he a Hall of Famer? I don't think so, but you give him another 5 years. Devin Booker, the same thing. I mean, he's going to score a lot of points. He stays healthy for another 5-7. He could be that guy, but man, it was cool to see him flip a switch, and it was cool to see Steph Curry go back to 2017 Steph Curry.
Well, I was also fired up, not just watching Curry, knock down shots from the outside and drive in every once in a while, but it was the defense that got me excited, watching him weave through the top of the screens and watching, Durant jump in front of the screen with those long arms and long legs. There wasn't anywhere for those guys to go at that point. They were going under the screens at first, but you get those guys over the screens, and Serbia couldn't really do anything about it. What'd you think of Bogdanovic doing the Carmelo Anthony 3 fingers to the head for about the entire first half? I mean, he was basically just he was going at Carmelo on the sidelines.
Hey, when you have a double-digit lead, you kind of start feeling yourself a little bit, huh? I don't know. I guess Phil, in all honesty, if you're going to trash talk somebody, let's trash talk somebody that's sitting in the stands.
It's actually wearing the uniform or the stands.
Yeah, let's trash somebody. Let's trash talk with somebody in the stands. I don't know that you don't want to give any of those the basketball player any type of extra motivation.
It's a heck of a lot of fun to watch. 877-377-6963. Before I forget, wanted to make sure I let Arkansas Dave know out there as you're coming home from Hot Springs, probably need to slow down just based on your history of driving there on I-70, so on US 70. So please be a little bit careful out there. That is brought to you by your friend Dan in Mount Ida. Also, Crabtree RV Center in Alma, the #1 RV dealership and the dealership that served our listening audience in the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas for going over 7 decades now. Find them right there where I-40 and I-49 come together in Alma, right beside the Cracker Barrel. Crabtree RV Center helps your family with the best experience, choosing the right RV for your adventures and everything you need in between. Service and parts department there on site. It's Crabtree RV at crabtreerv.com. Taking a break and chatting it up with Neil Atkinson from Bet Saracen in just a moment on Halftime.
This is Halftime.
See, what every long shot come from behind underdog will tell you is this. The other guy may in fact be the favorite. The odds may be stacked against you, fair enough. But what the odds don't know is this isn't a math test. This is a completely different kind of test. One where passion has a funny way of trumping logic.
Listen to every Razorback football game this season right here on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
This is Coke Zero Sugar. Could I be the best Coke ever? Try and taste with your ears. Hear those bubbles? Imagine them tingling on your tongue. Fizzy deliciousness. Listen to that cascading liquid. A mouth-watering waterfall. Irresistibly tasty. Zero sugar. crisp, refreshing, and ice cold. Is Coke Zero Sugar the best Coke ever? Try and decide.
Summer is here and adventure is calling. Visit Southern Tire Mart for a new set of Yokohama tires to get your vehicle ready for summer travels. Southern Tire Mart is your trusted partner for top quality tires, professional services, and competitive pricing. Visit us in Fort Smith at 9700 Highway 271 and let Southern Tire Mart ensure your vehicle is ready for the open road. Southern Tire Mart is a proud dealer of Yokohama tires. We keep America rolling.
With everyday low prices on top brands, locally owned Jaeger's Ace Hardware is committed to offering real service with real savings. Get these red-hot buys at any of our 4 locations. Ortho 10-pound lawn insect granules was $9.99, now only $5.99. 5/8" by 50-foot garden hose, only $13.97. HTH 1-pound pool shock is only $4.99. And get a 5,000 BTU air conditioner for only $142.97. Find more everyday low prices online at JaegersHardware.com.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
In Arkansas, 7 out of every $10 placed on a sporting bet app is with Bet Saracen, because Bet Saracen offers more ways to win and more ways to get paid, and faster. Find your winners on Bet Saracen and look for my R prop bet specials. I pick them and you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
Greatness doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, focus, and dedication. At Shelter Insurance, we understand that because we put in the hard work and dedication for decades. And that commitment is paid off with award-winning customer service for your auto, home, and life insurance.
See Agent Chris Dooley in Fort Smith.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6759. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6759. That's 800-575-6759. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Take me now, baby, here as I am. Pull me close, try and understand. Desire is hunger, is the fire I breathe. Love is a banquet on which we feed. You when I'm in your head. Take my hand from under cover. Get her tonight. Get her tonight. Get her tonight. Belong to love. Belong to life. Belong to night. Belong to love. Belong to life.
Find Halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Join the conversation. Call or text 877-377-6963. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Get right to our hotline and time to talk with Neil Atkinson from Bet Saracen. We do it each Friday during the golden hour, whether there's Olympics or not. Neil, how are you today?
I'm doing pretty good, and talking about the Olympics, it winds down this weekend, and from a task-oriented perspective, I'll be glad when it's over. Boy, it is so much to keep up with. in addition to getting ready for college football season. But it's been fun, and heck, I've learned a lot running the Olympics this time because we have the online and much more markets than we did during the last Tokyo Olympics. So it's been a lot of fun.
But I think today, where was the number I wrote down here? 35 gold medals on the line today. So, I mean, it's got to be a pretty busy day as far as the Olympics are concerned on Bet Saracen. And then, of course, I mean, we had the Hall of Fame game last week, but that was the only preseason game of the week. How popular is preseason football when it comes to sports betting? I mean, do people try to line up the parlays the same way they do in the regular season? Because I would think it's a pretty big wild card to try to know who it is who's going to play in the preseason.
Well, our sports bettors are becoming much more knowledgeable, and we are not seeing a lot of betting on the preseason, but it's about the same as it was last year with the normal bump with the customer acquisition. You just got to remember with the preseason betting, really the only viable markets, or the results oriented markets like the first quarter, second quarter, first half, over under, things of that nature. There are virtually zero props on the NFL preseason games, and I think I've said this before. There are a lot of games where we actually have more action on the individual props than we do on the outcome of the score of the game and who wins the game. So without those player props in preseason, which are darn near impossible to do, just the way the games are set up for the preseason, you don't see as much activity. But what it does do is it gets it on TV, it gets people talking about it, we get new customers, and you see a spike in the futures betting on the NFL, and that overflows over to college because of that. But yeah, the preseason's not the most bet right now. Baseball still is king, but I'm happy to see it on TV because it gets people talking and it's getting people to look ahead.
Hey Neil, as far as the player props are concerned, once the season does start and you're doing those preseason the regular season player props, how early in the week are those usually released?
Well, for the NFL, those are actually released pretty quick. Unless there's an injury, they just will have a player off the board until they get the injury reports with the NFL. But because we do have access to a much more data with the NFL and all of the pro leagues for that matter, those are the easy ones to do because we've got computer modeling that do all of that for us, create those markets, they're reviewed, and they're pushed out to the platform for everybody to see. College is a little bit, a lot more difficult, and that's why you see how we supplement what the national feeds put out on the college props with the college props that we design and we hang up on the site ourselves internally using our own modeling and our own numbers. So those, we're in control of especially the Arkansas props, but then for the rest of the games where we don't have a lot of attention to, those usually get populated at least 3 to 4 days before the game.
I think we had you on Tuesday and you'd brought up that one of the things that Bet Saracen, I think you said, has started to do, and it was because your customers had asked for it, is to be able to cash out your parlays early before the last bet either comes in. And the moment you had said that, we got 3 or 4 texts of listeners that said that's exactly what I was looking for. Cash out is the biggest thing that we've heard him say. So, I mean, that was immediate. The moment you started talking about it, we had positive response on the text line.
Well, we're not dummies. We know what they want. And that modeling and that cash out, actually, I had a meeting with our head trader this week, the guru, the one that keeps me out of trouble with the lines and the odds. It tells me when I'm doing something crazy. He got instructions to really, really loosen it up this year on the cash outs. And we're going to be offering a lot more cash out options. And that's supposed to extend to the same game parlays also. Now, it's going to take us a couple of weeks after the season starts to do that because, unfortunately, with these sportsbook systems, and to test them on games, you have to test them with real data. We can test them and get the concept on our test systems or our development systems, but until you see how the system reacts with the actual data coming in, So we're going to be doing some things in the background for the first couple of weeks. But then once we're satisfied that all the math models are working right and we're not making any mistakes and giving the players the best value that we can, then we will switch that on and just expand that. Now you're not going to notice anything except that you'll see the cash out option available a lot more. Now if you've got one team left in the parlay and your team is losing by 20 points, that cash out option is not going to be on in there, is not going to be on and available. So just remember that there are certain times when the games start that the cash out are not going to be available. So you have to make sure, especially if you're going to cash out on a parlay, to time it correctly and the intervals between games ending and games starting. If your parlay covers multiple days or throughout the day, like you have an early game in your parlay and you have the late game of the night in your parlay, that can affect when the cash out's going to be available based on what's actively happened in the games at the time.
But these are also just available for just like a single weekend. You have parlays that are available to pick all the division winners or just 4 of the division winners, but that's a season-long parlay. That's not something you can cash out early, right?
Our math models will look at that and will offer cash outs in some of those circumstances. Matter of fact, if you do a 3-team parlay and all of the teams are right now are at the top of their division with only like 4 weeks to go and only 1 or 2 can get caught up, we will offer a cash out. Now, I'll be honest with you, the cash out is over the long run is more in the book's favor than it is in your favor, but our goal is to give you liquidity, because if you don't want to take the chance, even though the odds are in your favor, you want to take the guaranteed money at the time that it's offered with you. A lot of players will opt to do that, and a lot of times they will opt to do that so they can get that money in play on a different bet that they're looking at. So there's all sorts of different reasons to use the cash out. One is to mitigate your risk. 2 is you want the instant gratification of the guaranteed win. Or 3 is, hey, you want to loosen up some of your funds on the futures so you can bet them on a game that you have a lot of confidence on that's going to be played today or in the next future. So there's a lot of different reasons to use that cash out function, but it is not the best value for you always because we've got to put it into our math modeling also. So you've got to weigh that when you make the decision on the cash out.
Neil, I know there's a lot of baseball that sports bettors can put money on this weekend, preseason football, as we'd mentioned, and the Olympics. What else? Because I know there are other things that are on people's minds that might not necessarily reach our show. What else is available this weekend that might interest sports bettors?
Well, really, this weekend, just like you said, it will be Major League Baseball, Team USA, and the medal rounds. Hey, look, we could have both in the men's and women's basketball. We can have a USA versus France gold medal match in both the men's and the women's, depending on the France and Germany that I think starts here about 2:00. So that's one to keep an eye on. But really, this weekend it's all about the Olympics and Major League Baseball. To a lesser extent, the UFC. The card's not as great on the UFC this weekend, in my opinion, but we have those loyal UFC bettors, and of course there's some WTA tennis and there's some golf, but really it's going to be bettors just playing around with the preseason, looking at their medals in the Olympics, especially in the team sports, and then college futures, getting ready for that. It's just kind of like, now I would say it's the calm before the storm, but it's the calmer period before the storm, because once August the 24th gets here and we've got real college football in play, it's going to be incredible to see the increase, and we're trending 30% already year over year for the last 2 months, and that's already started this year too. Now the Olympics have given us a little bit boost that we didn't have last year, but we've already seen that increase. And also, don't forget, on the 15th, it's not too far, the WNBA gets started back up, and I want to see how that, if the break hurt them or helped them, because they're going to have a lot of competition with football.
I was thinking about this could be calm before the storm, just because It's a lot of preseason stuff right now. NBA camps haven't opened yet, but that'll happen soon. NHL, the same thing. I wonder what's the busiest month for you guys? And if I could posit
November.
just like a guess, would it be October, November potentially? Because you get baseball postseason, NFL season kicking into gear. Same with college football, NBA starts. All of those professional sports leagues that are either coming to the nitty gritty end or just starting. Would it be October?
Yeah, it's between about the middle of October through the end of November is a huge spike. So December kind of trails off a little bit because all you've got mainly is championship games and the bowl games that are peppered through there. So, but yeah, November has outperformed February. Of course, February is a shorter month, and then it can be very, very close in March is the next biggest month. But it's going to be interesting this year to see what January does, because this year we're going to have college football all the way to the end of January because of the new playoff system. Plus we'll have the NFL playoffs. Plus we'll have conference play starting in NCAA basketball, which I'm sure is going to be huge around here. So January has the potential to knock maybe November or even March, off of the busiest month in sports betting, just because of the way the calendars are lining up. And boy, I hope it does. I'm excited about having college football all the way to the end of January this year.
I think everybody listening to this show would agree with you too. Absolutely. Neil, we'll leave it there. Always appreciate you coming on. Have a great weekend, okay?
All right, everybody stay safe and bet with your head and not over it. Keep sports betting entertaining and fun, and good luck on all your parlays this weekend.
Neil Atkinson is with Bet Saracen. It is Arkansas's favorite sports betting app. Remember, you got to be inside the state of Arkansas to use it. Home stretch of the golden hour right now, 877-377-6963. We'll be back right after this.
This is Halftime. You can now download our new app in the iTunes or Google Play Store. Listen anytime and anywhere on your favorite mobile device. Just search Hit That Line Now.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
You're listening to Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
Whether it's torque, horsepower, or just extreme work, diesel trucks do their job. But when your diesel...
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, Sakhalin.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, paper mouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is your number one source for all your sports betting needs this season. From baseball, golf, soccer, right to all the top fights in UFC, MMA, and boxing. Every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. When the game's over, head over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker or unwind with one of our over 150 slots games. Head to the website today to get in on the action. Use promo code BELIEVE for your 50% free bet credit on your first deposit up to $250. Bet online. The game starts here.
This song hit number 2 without one guitar. Gary Wright traveled with George Harrison to India for spiritual enlightenment and wrote Dream Weaver, describing God as infinite love and compassion, seeing him through the trials of the night. Of the 330 million gods of Hinduism, not one will get you to the morning light, but only through the blood of Jesus Christ. Satan is a master deceiver, weaving many into make-believers. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Hey, ESPN 96.3 and hitthatline.com. Have you been to Swark Liquor? Trey Gentry and his team have a phenomenal spot. It's the first liquor stop in Arkansas for our Dallas and Texas fans traveling up to the hill. So if you're heading to Fayetteville, the lake, a cabin weekend, hunting, fishing, or any other activity you need your favorite drink, stop by Swark Liquor. And check out their apparel too. You'll want to wear it. Swark Liquor, 864 East Collin Ray Drive into Queen, Arkansas. Swark Liquor, we promise to keep them cold for you.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Home stretch of the golden hour here as we take you into the last. We get off at about 56, so it's 22 minutes left. Not like anybody's counting, you know. I don't know what to do with myself this weekend. I mean, I could have watched the Olympics. That's fine. Last weekend was just about sitting on the couch and not going anywhere. Last week at this time, I took last Friday off because I felt like less than crap. I felt the same way on Saturday. Started to come out of it a little bit Sunday. It's just felt nice not having to go anywhere this week and feeling 100% human this week, so I can actually get out and enjoy this less than disgusting heat for the weekend. Which means, Matt, does that mean you get back out on the links this weekend?
I played. I got out there 18 a couple of days ago. Yeah, if this weather gets a little better, I'll go out there. I was trying to look up what time on Saturday is the gold medal game, USA versus France. It looks like 2:30, so maybe that's a 1:30 Eastern time. That's it. I mean, that's you got the 4x4 final that you were talking about in the couple segments ago with the 16-year-old kid that he probably won't be on there. That's at 2:12, so maybe that's 1:12. I don't know if these are Eastern Standard Times, but and then you get USA versus France. That's about the only game. Maybe go watch a movie. When's Beetlejuice come out?
That's a good question. I know. See, that's one that I'll go out and watch in the theaters.
Mm-hmm.
I will. I did not see Beetlejuice in the theater. I didn't see the original in the theater. That was another movie that my sister and I rented at, well, I guess it probably would have been Blockbuster Video when the time that thing came out. And again, I did wonder a little bit. There was just something in Keaton's voice in the preview, the trailer, that sounded a little bit disinterested, or maybe that was another few thousand years that had been laid onto Beetlejuice's larynx. Let me see. I got my ESPN. It only took me like 5 or 6 days to finally figure out which of the websites is best for going to see what time these Olympic events takes place. So I do like the ESPN. breaking gold medals and bronze medals tomorrow. I don't think I can will myself to watch any more of it. I think about 20 minutes was probably enough. So I'd be interested in the basketball. And we've got 5,000 meter finals for track and field. We've got some boxing finals. The basketball gold medal game, yes, 2:30 Central Time.
Saturday. That's
Saturday.
I think that's the last Olympic thing that I'll watch. You got the 400 meter hurdles final today coming up in 45 minutes after we get off the air. But and then you said the B girls gold medal battle, B girls. So they like challenge each other, and
not only that, but I was like, they have to look at the competitor in the eye when they're doing their competition. It's like it's a dance battle. I mean, it's almost like just get out there for a rap battle next. It's almost like they've got to be Bogdanovich putting 3 fingers to the head looking at Carmelo, but Carmelo's not a combatant.
You know, like, so when you do Olympic figure skating, you have all 12 of them go out there and you score them, and then they go to the next round. It's not individual. It's not, hey, you do this trick and then I do this trick. So, yeah, I thought it was like everybody did their bebop, and then they said, all right, here's your score, and then you went on to the next round. But, no, it's bracket style is what you're saying. You got a head-up competitor.
I heard a type of a breaking move earlier today that made me stand up and take notice. It was called the floating UFO, which I think was like the dancer was upside down on her hands, but nothing else was touching, and she was kind of like, she'd brought her legs down to like right around her neck, but nothing else was touching the ground except the palms of her hands. And it just, I thought to myself, yeah, sure, that looks like it's right out of Close Encounters. The floating UFO. Sounds about good. I do think, though, if we have breakdancing battles in the Olympics, rap battles can't be too far off. I mean, take 8 Mile to Los Angeles next year.
They got to do the Iron Lotus. I need to see that. Man, you could have 2-on-2 break battles. Then you could really get into some dance moves right there. Man.
I mean, you could look this stuff up. I mean, here are the 4 primary elements that form breaking: top rock, down rock, power moves, and freezes. You probably have to work on your freezes a little bit more. Matt, I'd had to work on my power moves. That's your strongest thing, is the power moves.
Everybody Vogue.
That is a whole other form of dancing.
See, I don't know.
Did we play any Madonna today? We've played nothing but
I was going to go
singers.
Lucky Star by Madonna or Cruel Summer Bananarama for the closing out song, unless you got something else that's on your mind.
I could go with the Cruel Summer because it's that time of the year. It's cruel because this is the last Friday before public school begins all across the state.
Let's do it.
That makes it a cruel Friday, which is essentially to the kids, it's like the end of summer, but we still have another 4 or 5 weeks of it left. So you can see the look on the kids' faces now. It's like, all right, get those notebooks out. Not last year's notebooks. No, we're going fresh and clean now. Get all your pens selected. Let's get now my son, he went to a school the last few years that was uniforms, which took out, so much decision making into a kid's morning. Now he's graduated on to 6th grade, and he actually can pick out his own clothes on a day-by-day basis, which if I'm thinking about, like, to me at that age, I have multiple reasons to be nervous for my son for just entering a new school and a new grade and all of that, and being one of the younger kids in the school. Him picking out his own clothes, he probably has more style than I do, but those are fairly big decisions. It's a much bigger decision for me when I go out of the house and what I'm going to wear than what it is that when I'm hosting the show. But then again, those who know me know that I'm probably wearing the same thing either way anyways. Good luck, kid. Good luck, kid. That's right. Summer is officially coming to an end. Big Phil wants to know, when is the curling? I think that's in 2 years. I don't think you can do curling at the summer. Where are the Winter Olympics in 2 years?
I was going to say 34. They're in Salt Lake City. I don't know where they are in a couple years. The Nordic states, it seems like. The Nordic
will be in Italy.
Okay, Italy.
Will be in Italy. The Italian cities of Milan and Cortina d'Ampezzo as the main cities for the Winter Olympics, which will be February 2026.
Man, you get the Winter Olympics in February. You get regular, all your American sports, and then you get the World Cup coming that summer. That's going 2026 be a fun year.
That is going to be a big one. It's going to be a huge one. We're going to make our plans for the World Cup. I thought we certainly want to get over there to that. Dan and Ida said, yeah, he raised 5 kids, one left in the house that's 11. She said, and then follows it. I was thinking this myself. And look, I've had so much fun with the kid over the summer. I mean, I've introduced him to all kinds of movies. We've gone fishing together. We've gone cycling together. We've taken trips together and everything. But I agree with you too here, Dan. Thank the good Lord that school is coming up, because there's only so much planning that you can do for these kids. And it's like, I mean, he's not at the point where he's got all kinds of friends on the street. And it's like when I was 12 years old, yes, they were neighborhood kids. You just went out and you found something to do with them. That's not quite where we are right here, at least not in this neighborhood. And the kids on the street, we don't know many of them. So it's almost like he's just looking to me to be the social director, the aquatics director, the sports director, and the culture minister at the same time. And here I'm trying to, host a radio show and figure out what we're going to talk about on a day-by-day basis. I think when school starts, Matt, I'll be ready to take a good long nap, but I'll be back for the entire show next week anyway.
How cool. Going into the 6th grade, man, that's how
big
cool
year.
Is that? Yeah, that's big time right there.
Very big year. Just signed him up for Little League once again for fall ball. No pressure put on him there, but he's going up from AA to AAA, and we'll probably have to swing the bat a little bit more often. So, and daughter's going into 10th grade, so that's when now you're comfortable in high school. Now you're no longer one of the younger kids in the school, and it's a whole other set of things that I got to worry about, with a 15-year-old daughter. 877-377-6960. Arkansas Dave is just very nervous that I keep mentioning Dan and Mount Ida. Well, he's sending in good texts. I don't know what you want me to do. I saw this recently, that the Cleveland Browns have announced plans for a new stadium outside of Cleveland, for a dome in Cleveland, in Brook Park, Ohio, which I think is the home of the Cleveland International Airport and is an industrial part of town. They want to build it on the site of a former Ford plant. Going price is $2.4 billion, half coming from the team and half coming from something that you see written about a lot, which I don't even think this truly exists. It says increased tax revenue from the stadium being there. And when you really kind of read a lot of the real studies about new stadiums and whether or not increased tax revenue actually exists in this case, a lot of cases it doesn't. You're taking it away from one part of town into another, but in this case, they want to move out of Cleveland into a suburb that's kind of next door. Did you play at the new Brown Stadium? Which I'm saying new Brown Stadium. I mean, that thing was built in 1999, right?
One of the coldest games I ever played in was at Cleveland. It was because of the wind. It was later in the year. That wind was just zipping. I mean, it was windy, but it cut right through you. Yeah, it was pretty cold that game.
And they've always played, like I know, like the old municipal stadium was really just down the street, just right there on the lake. In this case, it's like the Bears were talking about moving out of Chicago. They would still be the Chicago Bears, but they wanted to build a new stadium in Arlington Heights. That thing went away, and now they're figuring out how to either build a brand new Soldier Field. I think that's the idea, is to build a brand new Soldier Field kind of right next door to where it used to be. But it feels like the Bears are supposed to play inside Chicago. Now, I'm no Browns fan. I'm a Pittsburgher born and raised, but I don't really have hatred for Cleveland. I don't like the Browns. It just feels weird if they weren't playing inside that city. But I'm sure, Boston Patriots fans felt the same thing when the Boston Patriots moved out to the suburbs and took New England. I'm sure it felt really odd, incredibly odd, when the Jets and Giants moved out of New York City for New freaking Jersey, but kept the name New York. You got a team in Anaheim that still calls themselves Los Angeles with the Angels. So there's a lot of examples of some of these things that have happened. And Chris asked, how does a rusting city like Cleveland afford a new stadium? I mean, it's the suburb that's going to build the stadium. and they're getting the city to pitch in half of it, and I don't know, they're getting the team to pitch in half, and that's the Haslams, by the way, that own Cleveland. They are huge. Bill King has brought this up before. They are huge boosters with the University of Tennessee. Huge. I mean, they own or did own the Pilot gas station franchise, which I think also was what was the other brand? The Flying J, I think is what it's called. They own that company. So I mean, they basically print money. So I would think that those owners could probably pay for the entire stadium, but there aren't any owners that do that. Hey, this weekend, maybe think about Cart Path Social. Looking to do something with a big group of friends. $50 per bay, and the bay rental cost covers as many people as you want, up to 6 of them. It's 18 holes in 60 minutes. You bring your own beer to Cart Path Social. Don't need to worry about wearing golf attire. You can bring in your own food. They do have basic snacks and beverages available for sale, but you can bring in beer or seltzer. They have monthly memberships available, half off for your golf, 15% off clothing, and extended booking window at Cart Path Social. It's Northwest Arkansas's #1 destination for indoor golf. You find them at 122 Grant Place in Lowell, 479-619-9750 if you want to get information about Cart Path Social or just book a bay for the weekend. We'll be back and wrap up halftime after this quick break.
This is Halftime.
Valley Family Dental, formerly known as Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family. General dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Farmer, and now Dr. Blaine Van Nuys work to give all of their patients a better smile. Valley Family Dental, 5501 Riley Park Drive, Suite A at the entrance to Riley Farm. Now offering same-day crowns. 226-3500 for an appointment or visit valleyfamilydentalpractice.com.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Football, fantasy drafts, new school supplies. It's my favorite time of year. I'm Jackie Mock with Mock Legal Solutions. Born and raised in the River Valley, I know how crazy traffic can get this time of year. As kids head back to class, remember to use caution at crosswalks and in school zones. But not all accidents can be avoided. If you or your loved one is injured in a car wreck, call today. 479-769-1505. No win, no fee. Mock Legal Solutions. Real advice, reasonable price.
Your home is your biggest asset. So when you decide to add a sunroom, a patio cover, a new driveway, or new windows, you need to call a company you can trust. Sawyers has been part of your community for over 30 years. They're insured, licensed, and have 100% financing for all of their products. Take all the worry out of your next project. Call Sawyers and let them handle it from permitting to completion. Sawyers, serving the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas with a full showroom located in Fort Smith or online at sawyers-sunrooms.com.
TGI Fridays on Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith now has meal deals starting at $9.99, which includes an entree, side, and fountain drink. Try their delicious 6-ounce sirloin served with seasoned fries for $15.99. The Bacon Ranch Chicken Sandwich with seasoned fries, $11.99. Chicken Caesar Salad for $10.99 and more. Their meal deals also include tasty chicken fettuccine Alfredo served with garlic breadsticks for $12.99 and a cheeseburger with seasoned fries for only $9.99. TGI Fridays, I-540 and Rogers Avenue, Fort Smith.
Clogs? Nobody wants a clog. Westart Plumbing knows that clogs are a serious issue. They can signal that bigger problems are on the way. So contact Westart Plumbing while the problem is small. Slow shower and sink drain, gurgling toilets, and outside cleanouts making a mess? Call 479-646-5151 today. Westart Plumbing and expert drain cleaning since 1993. They keep you flowing. If you have slow drains or high water bills, call Westart Plumbing and expert drain cleaning service. 646-5151.
Colorworks Paint and Body in Barling offers professional automotive painting, bodywork, and fabrication that is unsurpassed in talent and dedication. Owner Andy Harrod uses the latest in collision repair technology to ensure all damage is addressed, whether it's visible or hidden, and works with all insurance companies. Andy and his crew have the experience and commitment to give you complete trust in the repair of your vehicle, no matter the size of the job. Colorworks is located at 1206 4th Street in Barling, across from Dollar General, and is on Facebook, where you can check out their work.
Has your job been grinding your gears lately? Then let me tell you about Lavorne Lumber. They're looking to fill a regional over-the-road position. They use brand new equipment in your home every weekend. Don't think you're getting paid enough? That's not the case at Lavorne Lumber. They're highly competitive in that area. So if this sounds like a great next job opportunity for you, then stop by and see Pam and the Bills Monday through Friday from 9 to 4 at Lavorne Lumber. 515 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith and online at Lavorne, Lovvorn lumber.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. Welcome back into Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Studios. Crabtree RV Center in Alma, where we make your dreams come true.
Troy texted in. He'd heard, you heard I have 15-year-old daughter. He had a couple of his own that were 15 at one point. Wanted to know if I needed to borrow any of his guns. Nah, I don't. The baseball bats work just fine, and won't get you in trouble flashing those to people either. I don't know if I told that story before, but my parents remind me of this quite a bit. My sister, I think she might have been 15 years of age, had a kid that was interested in her that I wasn't a big fan of. So he decided he was going to ride his bicycle over to the house one evening, and that was an evening that I thought it would be really good to be outside on the front porch practicing my baseball swing in a very visible manner. He never made it to the front porch. Bicycle down to the house, saw the bat, my swing, and hey, look, I'm no home run hitter, but I can hit what I'm aiming for. And he just kind of turned around and bicycled back up the hill, and I don't remember him ever coming over to the house again. So baseball bats do work. I got a couple of them here. But I do appreciate your offer, Troy. Thank you.
Very mafioso right there, Yeah.
It was like making him an offer he couldn't refuse, which was, hey, don't come on this porch. I don't think I was going to do anything because I'm not a violent person, but it was just a suggestion. It was more than anything. It was just like, this could happen. Whether it does or not could be up to you. All right. Did I have anything else I meant to get to today? Brandon Ayuk trade, still waiting on that. Man, I wonder about this situation with Ayuk. I know the Niners say they want a draft pick and a player back to replace him in the wide receiver core. If I'm the Steelers, I'm going for it.
You got to give up a top 100 pick. That's what I think anyways. They might be, it depends on who you give back. And I don't know they want somebody good. Pittsburgh doesn't have a lot to give anything back. I mean, you're not going to give TJ Watt up.
No, there's a couple of other receivers that I think they might actually be able to send over there, but I really do like George Pickens. Pickens, I think, is a number one wide receiver, but there are a couple things about him that do make you think. I feel like he needs somebody else who could be a legitimate number one to almost put them up against each other in some ways. So I do hope they make the deal because I do think that's a team that's close. I think that's a division where you could finish first or you could finish last. And it looks like the Pats said no to the trade. The Browns said no to the trade. I don't know if Cleveland has enough draft capital to be able to interest San Francisco in that case. But I also saw the Niners need to get a little bit younger. They've got the oldest team in the NFL. Well, I hope everybody has a great weekend. Matt, Seaburger Unit movie. We've made it through 5 full days. That's right. 15 hours of halftime. Nobody got sick. Nobody needed any time off. Nobody was watching everybody eat burgers on a Tuesday or a Thursday. So congratulations for 5 full shows. We can do it again next week, too. If you missed anything, the Eastside Liquor Halftime Podcast is right about ready to be released. Ruskin and Zach standing by for the start of your weekend, too. And that's halftime on a Friday, so go have yourself a good one. For Matt Jones, for Christian Johnston, I'm Phil Elson. Thanks for listening. That's halftime. Get up, get out, and get better.